Welcome to the Boise State Esports Arena. We're glad you're joining us this Wednesday, February 28th. Your bonus leap day is tomorrow, but today we have a shooter frenzy for you. We're starting out with Call of Duty, and then we're going to be moving on to Valorant later on in the night. And of course, if we're talking about shooters, there's no one I would rather have with me than Greg Oldsoul-Smith. I'm your host, Jacob Palmer. Greg, we have been right now cramming for Call of Duty right now because this is the first time we're showcasing it up here on desk. We've got a great club team that has managed to be in the tournament, give us some great performances. You see them back there up on stage. They're going to be going up against Southern Miss, the Golden Eagles. But what's been standing out to you most about Call of Duty that we should be looking out for in sort of the debut match for the season?
It feels like it's all about being unpredictable and being ready with variety. I mean, there's different game modes and there's lots of different maps, and they all play a little bit differently. And if you play the same way every time, you're going to get caught off guard. I mean, things are fast-paced, and the enemy will be right on top of you if you don't play unpredictable and if you don't work with your team to stretch to the moment and play what you need to play. So the game modes are all going to play a little bit differently, and every map is going to play a little bit differently, and you have to be ready to not be mundane at any time. You have to keep it fresh.
Well, speaking of maps and stages, in Call of Duty, actually, we have Doc's keys to the game because he's good in every single game. In Call of Duty, that's going to be believe, achieve, and repeat. Take them out one by one, we see that often in a lot of shooters, target focus, target priority. Use your call-outs and know when it is time to take it slow. It's all brought to you by Drop-In Gaming, the premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. Play your favorite games to win cash and prizes through free and paid entry matches and tournaments. Whether you're new to the scene or a seasoned veteran, Drop-In Gaming has the right games and competition for you. And the overall order of the stages, we're going to be starting out in a best of 5 on Skid Row. Then we'll move on to Rio, then Invasion, and back to Rio because all the maps, this is one of those games where all the maps can be used in all of the different competitive modes. It isn't like Overwatch where, you have control stages and you have payload stages. No. Any stage can be in any of the modes. There's just tweaks here and there to how the stages work. So Skid Row, Rio, Invasion, Overwatch, Skid Row, Rio, Invasion, Rio, and High Rise. So I'm trying to get it in my head that stages can repeat. That is a new feature here.
Yeah.
As far as Boise State Esports is concerned.
And we'll have to see how each of those maps go because this is a best of 5, and those are all 5 possible maps that we could be dealing with.
So we're going to be joining this match in progress right now on Stage 2. That is going to be a Rio. So let's jump on into the action, see how things are going to start out. And we're going to be going to Search and Destroy, which is a little serendipitous, Greg, because this is your bomb planting, very similar to Valorant, but in the Call of Duty framework with all their guns, weapons, and abilities.
Right, we're going to feel a little bit more of that team dynamic because it's not just getting out there and hogging the frags. It's important because when you go down, the numbers change and the dynamic changes a little bit. This is the time, like Doc said, to understand that you can play it slow. Oh, here's a big pop around. He's going to make it out of there, but only barely. Only to find another around the next corner, bring Boise State down to a win for this round.
First, the 6 rounds will take the round overall. Winner of round 1 in Skid Row was Southern Miss.
So Boise State is on the back foot here, trying to pull everything together, bring it up to a nice tie so they can run on into map 3 after a quick side switch. And that's an interesting thing that we don't see in CSGO and we don't see in Valorant. We get a lot of back and forth very quickly between attack and defense.
Boise State currently going from Militia Spawn. They have 2 options. Do they want to take A near Garage or B in Mall? They got 2 feeling out B right now. Southern Miss, the ones with the bomb, and it looks like they're going to decide to plant. Gets first blood as well. That's a great start for the Golden Eagles. 3 Broncos left, and Avo has a bit of a kill streak going. If he can keep that up, he might be able to get a good sort of ability that he might want to use. This could be a nice flank right onto point. Lands it against Mr. Robot, but the others are going to be coming in for reinforcements. He has the high ground, but isn't able to take it out. Did his darndest to try to turn that round around, but Southern Miss will tie it 1-1.
Yeah, and I appreciate that he went in fighting, because one thing he could have done is hold back, wait for them to play off point, and try to ninja defuse, but with that many people, you just want to go out with a bang and see how much damage you can take. And he was caught a little bit in the reload, jumping out from the stairs, And after a little bit of damage after the last contact,
And
that's just all he could do.
there also isn't that mechanic of saving,
Right.
or oh, I should keep my abilities because they might cost more next round. It's like they recharge every round.
There's
so,
no buy round. Yeah, you
so
just
the
dump.
last person, you just got to try to take it.
Yeah, it has this all or nothing feel to it where you just want to throw all of your equipment as soon as it seems useful. That does mean that as soon as you make eye contact with someone, you could have things flying at you. I mean, look, there's a stun going out. Just going to throw a little bit of smoke down.
Nice high ground that Penji has. Waiting for someone to peek out. A roof-to-roof fight. Lands it. That's 2 for Boise State. They have evened things up, and they've got the bomb down.
Yeah, that was good recoil control there, too. Checking around his position. Oh. And comes down to those 50-50s. It's tough. And people move fast. I mean, this is a high-paced game. Checking 50-50. Ooh.
Nice. Boise State lands it. Got the view of him first, and
Yes.
he was coming up the ramp, so it wasn't the largest amount of high ground, but it was still high ground nonetheless.
That's true, and when you're coming up the ramp, you go live to a lot more angles, whereas Boise State player here, Neeb, is able to just drill right down this angle. Quick little side switch bringing us up for the next round on this map. And it's 2v1 so
Trolley.
far.
I always like to point out when stages have trolleys, and Rio has a trolley, so I approve. That is completely unrelated to the task at hand. What is relevant is that Boise State is now on the defense, Southern Miss planting, and we have a lot of charging toward B Mall. First blood landed by Boise State. 3 left for Southern Miss.
And those first bloods are devastating in a 4v4. I mean, you take out 25% of the team when you do that, and now their spread between A and B is so much thinner.
Oh, long-range fight, and Penji just can't land it against Meech. Now it's 3-all.
Nice even keel approach as the bomb has not quite been put down, but they've still got a full minute for it. Nice quiet situation, and bam, just like that. A quick trade, bringing them to 1 and 2.
It's all down to Neeb here. Has to take it on a 1v2. Looking up toward the site. They haven't planted yet. They're still holding the bomb.
Yeah, but Anxiety's got it right on top of the point. He's definitely considering it. There's the plant down.
45 seconds on the clock.
Is he going to go in for a nice little ninja defuse, or do you think he can find the other 2 players?
I think he has to take Doc's key to the game of 1-on-1. He cannot afford this to be a 2-on-1. So he's trying to check these angles off to the side, seeing if he can catch one. Just all by himself. Smoke grenade goes
and
down.
He's
looking, passes right by him, sees him, and it's not going to be enough to change it. Southern Miss, Golden Eagles now tied up yet again, 2-2.
And the thick of that smoke grenade is, it's volumetric. It's constant all the way through. So you can pass each other like ships in the night, unlike Valorant where the smokes are spherical and thin shells. So they walked right past each other on that one, and he came right back around to what he thought was cleared and uncontested area. He was surprised, and he went down to it. It's all right. It was still a 2v1. Clutching that up would be difficult, and it's 2-2 now.
We've had a general pattern streak of the planting team is the one to win it.
There's definitely an advantage as you get to bleed the time and make your decision on the long clock, and that short clock of 45 seconds after you have decided where you want to play and where you want to set up. It's a devastating position for the defenders to be in, so they're going to have to really bleed the clock now.
That's exactly what Boise State's doing, planning on A.
Nice and early, wow. And
look
they
at
own
this
this
space
territory.
they're taking, too,
Definitely.
going right into garage, firefight exchange, but Neeb isn't able to take out Anxiety. Anxiety sitting at a 3-kill streak, getting close to some abilities if he keeps things going. Oh, doesn't even see. Look at this back shot. They didn't check the angles.
Unreal.
It might be a lot faster pace than Valorant, but you still want to check your angles.
Yeah, faster pace, but that TDK is low, so for him to maintain and one-clip the both of them is still impressive. They didn't even 180 for that man. He just got a free 2-piece. Final kill in another neck of the woods. A beautiful distance shot. After a little peek around the bushes. Coming in for a side switch. Like you said, that's another win for the attacking side.
We're off to the races in round 6, Southern Miss planting, but this is just generally continuing on of the general pattern of the planting team has been the one to take it. Moving up, showing some interest toward Mall, but it's mainly just some side lurking. It's going to be A that Southern Miss is really wanting to plant on. Firefight exchange, Mr. Robot lands the first blood. It's traded back. Both teams sitting at 3-all. Boise State has gained a lot of control over at Mall, but it's A that they have to now rotate over towards.
And that's upsetting because Madness did have a 3 streak, so that gets wiped. And now Neeb, the highest streak player, is coming up around the corner on 1. Oh, the reload. Just when the 50-50 check comes out, they're going to be closing these doors. A little bit of dashing back and forth. The mouse and chases on. He drills him down, bringing us up streak to 2.
Also, shout out to Anxiety, caught out Avo. He was trying to make a rotation through Market. Didn't let him have it. Still anyone's match, though. Boise State has it down to a 1v1. Can he land it? He's behind the bananas, trying to go around the pillar and lands it. But he doesn't have enough time to defuse. Age-old bomb plant. Age-old bomb plant problem.
Yep.
I got them all, but the bomb goes off.
And that's
they get the point.
That's good playing your life, playing the win con, knowing that, you know, you can give yourself up just by jumping around the bananas and never taking an actual shot. I mean, he was destined to fall there, but in all the same, destined to win the round. So that was a close one, but it's still another attacking team taking point 3, and it feels like 1 step forward and 2 steps back as we're up to another even kill situation where Boise State scheduled to take another point here.
Minute 30 on the timer. Boise State is going to break up 2-2, 2 to B, 2 to A. Their bomb holder, though, is focusing around B. Could be a 2-on-1, although there's a cross angle held by Anxiety. First blood going over to him.
So much action on the wrong neck of the woods. A nice little finishing shot there to a man that was injured. He's going to keep rolling around. Injured himself, though. He'll need to get this bomb down fast. If he drops it, they can camp right on top, and it'll be difficult to find an offensive win here, which is a problem. If they give up that lead and keep taking that stair step up, Boise State will not be able to find this round. So getting this plant out is important, and he's now the last man alive, so he's got to sit on it for another 45 seconds and just hang out. And with 2 players left, you can play Protect the President. Someone can sprint right towards it, so he does have all of his utility left. I would not be surprised if he starts dumping this pretty soon.
There's going to be a firefight in Main Street here. He's right in the corner waiting for someone to come across. It's going to be Anxiety. Spots him and lands the shot. Now it is that 2-on-1. One is going in for the defuse, trying to jump peek him.
Sure enough.
Gets a few dinks onto him. The defuse goes through.
And it's quick,
See,
too.
he's halfway there. Has enough time. Has to go in right now through the smoke grenade. Spots him right before the defuse happens. That's huge playing for Boise State.
Takes
Lands
fight.
it with the 1v3. Boise State back in the lead.
What a clutch. That was so close. That was so close. That was their offensive piece, though, so it feels a little bit on the back foot here. They've got to be careful. He did well, though, to bleed that clock out during the defuse, get him at the last second, and make it impossible to find a stick. Impressive 1v3, and good on him to scatter after taking that action high up on Main Street. Make sure no one was close behind to give a good call out. He got right out of there. Didn't really use very much utility, though. I feel like a lob of something towards the plant could have helped him out a touch.
One lurker down in Market, moving toward Penji. Firefight exchange, Penji wins it. It's now 4-3 for the Broncos. Great start. Remember, this is the one they're expected to lose, however. And it has been tied up, one down to 3-3. Main firefight happening in Mall. Moving in for the plant. Madness unable to win that showdown. Neech opening up an advantage. Neeb unable to even things up, taking a bit of damage, has to run away, try to heal up, reload, and fight another day.
Does do a
nice
quick
wall bang. That is such a wall bang right into the Tootsies. Gets it. I also saw that Southern Miss. Oh, they did throw. They have a trophy system down, and that's going to take out enemy projectiles. So some of the utility Boise State might want to use to try to retake this point is going to be nullified.
He's going to use his special skill here. Neeb moving right around.
All sneaky, all stealthy-like. Trying to find a good one-on-one toward Meech. Moves on to the point. Such a angle that Mr. Robot has. He is locked in on it. Sees it. Oh, jump scare. Now it's just Mr. Robot to defend it all. He's the last alive. Look at the wrong way, though, and gets hit in the back. All right, the general pattern continues.
And if Boise State can keep this general pattern moving, they're not going to be too upset. So they can play nice and light and keep their mental together. Oh, and it was so close.
Switching sides, Boise State's turn to plant.
Yeah, Boise State definitely looking forward to map 3 here. It feels like if they can keep this ladder back and forth going, it shouldn't be a serious issue to find this map.
Looks like they're favoring a push through market toward garage. Although it was just a bait, they've actually recoalesced around mall. However, if Mr. Robot is taken out of garage, that's a... Well, no, actually Anxiety's holding a really good cross angle on it. Plant going down on B, it's down, and so that's going to take... Maybe Penji can get him in the back. He's trying to catch him in a rotation. This could be a good flank. But Anxiety's a scary player to go up against, one of the best KDs for Southern Miss. Nice, takes him out. I was just saying, I would love to see a first blood like that from Boise State. Now there's just only one left. They all fall like dominoes. Can Boise State take out Mr. Robot and land it? They can. But flawless.
Impressive. A nice, clean, convincing win. The mental game just got a little bit of a leg up here. These final shots, the spray and pray jump round, so much bunny hopping, so much close quarters AR. Bringing us up to match point. Can Boise State reach and finish it nice and easy here? And bring them up to map 3 in an overall tie. Playing the defensive, they want to get onto the point as quickly as possible. In the contested area, you're going to throw a little bit of util. See it come from the other end as well. That's why you don't want to sprint straight to the point.
Ooh, first blood on me. Also on a Mr. Robot as well. It's a 2v4. Showdown in Mo.
Nice.
Lands it too. Boise State only has one left before they take this round. He's lying prone.
And it's 4-on-1. They can also just bleed the clock for another minute. This man has to plant. They can hang out around the sites, but instead they're going to hunt him down as they go running towards the target.
We saw one of the Broncos take a 1v3, and that's exactly what it is right now, so don't want to get too careless.
That is true. If they play together, though, it looks like they're pretty sure they can find it. They're actually hanging out by each other a lot more than we usually see. Usually we get a lot more sporadic output in the COD. Modern Warfare 3 here. Ooh, when he comes around the corner, gets a little bit of eyesight. The call's clearly made as he rotates up towards B. Just cutting off.
Has to push in, but Boise State is holding every angle that they possibly can.
Yeah, beautiful cross angle here. No chance out of that. Absolutely drilled, and Boise State takes it 6 with a devastating 2-point lead.
All right, so that's the first round taken by Boise State. They'll tie the series up 1-all. We'll be moving on to Invasion next.
I love the final kill cam. It really captures the chaos of the situation well.
Mm-hmm. It really does. I mean, and you kind of think, you know, it's a little bit more exciting every single round because, you know, it's kind of that all or nothing. You must win it here or not. You're not going to stand back and save. That means we have much more of a chance for those reverse rounds as well, for a 1v3 upset to come through. Every single round it can happen. There's not a round that's just going to be a standard pass and kind of a lull in the action like sometimes we see in Valorant.
That's really true, and that volatility in the point score comes from numbers being low. I mean, if you have one big game that's a whole bunch of just rounds consecutively, then an early lead by a devastating amount means that there's no comeback from it. However, if you have many smaller legs that are each made up of their own best of 3, then you can lose like 20 legs in a row and then have a good chance to just barely make your way out of each of the next 10 legs, right? If you come up to a competitive point at all, you can start making progress that'll erase the issues early on. And by having rounds of 5 that are each built of only 6 best of 6 maps, it's a good chance to touch gloves and figure out the playstyle of the other team, pull things back together, and it's never over until it's over.
Moving down right off the start toward A. Trying to claim it. There's fighting back and forth down to 3v2. Boise State with the advantage.
Ooh.
Well, this is kind of one of the more unique rounds in that you have a set number of respawns in your bank that you got to think of, and so you can win in two ways. It's either that you can capture both points, or you can bleed the other team of all their lives.
Which does mean that when you're playing defensively, you don't want to be caught out in the action, but you don't want to sit one place too long. You really want to protect yourself, because a life for yourself is a life for your team. And you can't just sit out. You're going to be thrown back into the game once you're out.
Boise State has progress at B.
Yeah.
And A as well.
Almost
split up, but dividing and conquering, getting a pick against Meech as well. There's two now there. Picks up another one. Madness had the best KD in the last round and is continuing on. He already is at 6-2.
Yeah. Ooh, that death brought Boise State out of the positive KD ratio. Obviously, it's a sum-zero game here. Whatever team is ahead is the team with the most positive KD ratio overall. So just watching those and seeing how one man can drag this score up by the bootstraps is important. And is still on the respawn here. Coming back into the game. It's a scattered feeling as Boise State's rushing in from all angles, trying to get back to that point. Get the control. You know they're going to be there. And if you want to bleed them dry out of these lives, because it's coming down 18 all the way to 14, that drop quickly.
Boise State has one on bathrooms again. Getting close to that second tick. Has it now. Is thrown down a trophy system for an extra bit of defense. They will get stunned by the nade. Moving in, though, right in their
they were
face.
so
Manages
close
to win it. But Southern Miss manages to take it back. Will reset their progress on the third tick.
That third tick was so close.
Ooh, lands it. Down to 13-10. Boise State having a slight lead in the overall lives. That lead's going to grow bigger and make 12-8. They're up 4.
Yeah, it seems like there's less of a focus on the control at all.
And also, B has been completely capped now, so it's just A. It's one tick left on bathrooms. Trade back and forth 1-1, and if that pace continues, Boise State's sitting pretty.
And it seems like that's the pace that has been up. I mean, this difference by only 3 or 4 revives is all we've seen. Last 30 seconds as the timer goes red. How well can they hold that point? Boise State, one player rushing in, trying to find those shots.
Also want to watch out for Meech. She's got a good position on River. Might be able to intercept Avo here.
Couldn't find the sidearm quick enough. Oh, it was almost a great flank. There it is.
Avo coming in back toward A. Might catch him at the side. Exchanges fire, lands it. Is able to take out Twyer. That'll start the tick in progress for Boise State again. And they've just blown their lead. And because they didn't capture both points as the timer hit 0, Southern Miss gets the win. First to 3.
So many things to manage at once. I mean, your kill count is going to change how aggressive you are with your play. Because if you're ahead, that means whatever you're doing is working, so you just want to do more of it. But you want to play more reserved based on the timer as well. And you also have to watch the points, and that can determine where you want to be on the map. It's a lot to juggle. It's very, very active mentally. But all the lives are back up. The team comes crashing together.
Oh, man, look at this
First
charge
contact.
through this angle. I don't know if Boise State's expecting this. Anxiety gets him right in the back. Didn't even see him.
A few for each side. 29 v 27. And the first point is under a loose control. Benji hanging out around the point is going to move up. Anxiety getting in some of the action. Does fall. Avo doing well after that first blood of the round. Bin playing strong. 9 v 8. Their KD's crazy. Absolutely draining.
Even though there's only a minute on the timer, 59 seconds to be exact, it does stop whenever progress is being made at one of the points. So plenty of time and already one tick for Southern Miss. Firefight exchange. Boise State not able to trade with Southern Miss. That B point is still going to remain under their control and go up to the second tick.
Yeah, that tick working around, making it very close. Ooh, Madness barely escapes with 50% of his health. Gonna take a quick stim and get on out of there, back up to full health.
Oh,
just sees him, but it's not good enough.
And all right, that's 1 point down, 1 to go. Elimination on to Meech, but Boise State is now, they have a deficit in the respawns, the lives they have left. They're going to set up on A and try to hold it for dear life, throw down a trophy system, and hope for the best.
Yeah, Boise State is down, well, was down on lives, but only barely, and was down on points as well. They're covering 1 right now. But how long does that defense last as 2 come raining in? Oh, he did well to get some damage out on the first one, but it's not enough. And the paper goes flying. The entire Boise State team rushing in, taking care of a few at a time. 1 man soloing the situation is going to go down. Oh, but can he make the leverage off of that health that was drained by the last player? Madness holding his spot now. And they go rushing away from the point. Gonna let that clock bleed down. Just try to get 15 more kills out.
Remember, most of the time that Southern Miss has been on these points, the clock's been stuck at 57 seconds, so hardly any time in the grand scheme of things has passed. And they'll stop the timer again at 47, making progress on A. They already have 1 tick. 2 picks in favor of the Broncos will stop that progress. Still got 1 left, though, trying to hold down the fort.
10 and 12 reses left. It's not looking good for Boise State. They're doing their best, though, taking them down 1 at a time. Back onto the point to bleed away that progress that was made. Timer still ticking away.
Run some nades, trying to push it out around the corner.
Man,
Trophy
a drill
system
would
down
be so
from Southern
nice right
Miss.
now. Right around the corner. The squat gets him. The 1v1 is there, but that's no good. 8 and 9. 25 seconds left on the clock. Trying to defend the point. The timer just keeps spinning. This might be it for Boise State's map 3.
Didn't even see him right there. Anxiety just snuck up right near the wall and took Boise State. I mean, that's 3 basically taken for Southern Miss.
This is interesting by Boise State. Ooh, letting the other team take the point. They do start racking up money on that progress bar, but at least they hold. Oh, could this be? Oh, that is so tough. All right. Southern Miss has no respawns remaining, but Boise State is fresh out of lives in general. It came really down to it, especially when that timer pauses, because Southern Miss gets greedy for the next point instead of just bleeding them on time and winning at 1 like they could. But Southern Miss found it anyways by staying true of aim and taking care of the Broncos.
Match point for Southern Miss.
And the Eagles' gold move towards their 3rd point and control.
Boise State moving as a moving as a unit down toward A. Maybe the numbers advantage will get them a quick lead, but are they watching the cross angle here? Coming in from Anxiety, he lands the first blood, and Boise State is all caught up in bathrooms, all grouped up together. Southern Miss moves in closer, whole bunch of people in close quarters, and Boise State manages to land 3 in a row. And look at this capture. They've already gotten 2 ticks and are going in on the 3rd. They want as much time as possible to claim the last point.
Incredible. Meech has been doing so much work, though. Oh, and the point goes back around to the Golden Eagles. A little bit of utility be thrown out just to cover Neeb as he's trying to make it in. Just squeeze in for a quick kill. HP back up to max. Gonna get the high ground.
Taking the high ground up and broken. Trying to spot anyone moving through these doors. Penji finds one on a Mr. Robot around the corner. Meech is also flushed out. Boise State leading by 2 in respawns.
Incredible. Leading the respawns only barely, but also leading in both of the point controls. One of them going to be passed over, but B, can they check it off? Being spread between both points is a scary situation, but all the action is on B, and one of them is wide open. And now both control points are under owner of the Golden Eagles, but they're down on health. Madness getting a quick refuel in. Going to play tandem with another player.
Boise State's wasted no time. They've really gone for the strategy of having multiple people on the point so that that charge goes up faster. They've only got 1 tick on A left with over 1 minute and 50 seconds left to work with. Oh, look out. Ambush and sandbags. Yep, Mr. Robot just lands it against Madness. Avo also bites the dust, and we're basically tied
blank.
up in terms of lives remaining.
It seems like that's been the theme. That first round, Boise State was close to taking it in lives remaining, but now the reses have been pretty even on this round and the last one. With still a minute 30 on the clock, we know how long 57 seconds lasted last time. It seems like this last control point is the place to be, but only the Golden Eagles are hanging out there. And as the clock keeps ticking, they can't quite get the ticks to run up. The Broncos come sprinting on in. One player hanging right outside. Just looking to see. Oh, and it's very close, but the spin around isn't there. Got to get a bigger mouse pad for Penji.
That's a killing spree of 5 now from Taiwer.
Incredible. And the
Remember,
Broncos.
those killing sprees are tied to some very powerful abilities, but luckily for Boise State, they're able to take out Taiwer. He'll be sent back to 0.
And they take out one more, bringing themselves to... Oh, they were ahead in the lives remaining, but it's only barely. Control by Mr. Robot back online, and from a distance, he's going to go down, leaving that point wide open, and the timer spinning away. Boise State ahead in both accounts. Can they stay calm? Benji just going to hang out a little bit, drop some utility, maybe regroup with the team, and through the street, one goes down, tries to make the gauntlet, but you just can't do it. And another one, back to back, racking up that kill streak. PG's at 3, and Boise State takes it by taking Zone A.
They came out charging right onto A at the very beginning. Everyone moved on to bathrooms, and with everyone on that point, they had 2 ticks in very little time. So they were able to then rotate over toward B, take that point quick, and when they just had enough time to work with, they were able to get their goal. Still match point, though, for the for the Golden Eagles.
Moving right on in, the charge is out. It seems like everybody's postured a little bit towards A. We do have a one-on-one on the way between Anxiety. Oh, and Anxiety takes it onto Avo for first blood. Oh, the back and forth is surreal. Lives remaining plummeting fast. First control point, a little bit of yellow, a little bit of blue. Oh, from above, he's going to go down. Mr. Robot hanging out on the point, calling in a little bit of backup. Well, the Broncos are crowding the north side.
It isn't just the Broncos that are crowding. They got 2 in bathrooms right now. They're already to their second tick. Southern Miss claims it. Boise State moves in, tries to take it back, gets taken out by 1. Still have Mr. Robot. He's lying prone now.
Oh, hidden in the dark, Mr. Robot.
He won 2 face-offs in a row. He's up to a 4-kill streak.
A couple stuns coming out, making it a little bit difficult. Avo kind of got himself on that one. Penji now trying to run around
and
bring things together.
With Mr. Robot just helping to hold down the fort on A, it's allowed kind of a sneaky take also for Southern Miss. They are already almost done with B, just short of the second tick. Boise State trying to reset him on it.
Yeah, it would be nice to split those ticks. Mr. Robot on the news ticker, coming up to 5K streak, just by sitting down and being a menace. But now, as he comes out of the dark and onto the high rise, does get grilled down by Penji, who's doing fairly well. Still negative in the KDA. As Boise State still needs to chip away 5 more players before they come out ahead, but they were doing some action on the B point. Still have a player nearby. Not quite on top, but that's all right. Neeb taking over the cameras from a distance, trying to do as much damage as he can, but the gun kick just not allowing it up front. Has to switch to the sidearm, can't pull it together. Avo with too many targets. Turn back on him as he makes just a little bit of noise and he goes down. As Southern Miss takes it. And that's going to be their map. As we see the final shots come through, a couple to the feet, one to the shoulder. And it was a 2v1. An uncomfortable position there. Boise State did well to fight up that 1 point, but they just couldn't grab another one.
So we joined this match a little bit late in the proceedings. We've been showing you some previous stages that happened beforehand. We will now jump up further toward the live state of this match, just because we're running a little bit short on time here. We'll move past Rio. We've already seen Rio, so we don't need to see that again. What you need to know is that it is tied 2 apiece here, with this stage on High Rise being the decider. Boise State or Southern Miss can win it right here.
And if you've been keeping track of the score, it's very back and forth. We've seen kind of within every round it's felt back and forth. It feels like such a cat and mouse track between the two teams. And coming down the high rise, only one team can make it out.
And it is going to be bomb planting again here, just like we saw on Rio. This time, though, on High Rise. So up in the air, high stakes to decide it all. I wouldn't have it any other way.
High stakes search and destroy.
Yep, here we go. Boise State going to be starting out in office. Southern Miss in cafe. Ready to charge through those glass windows like they always do. And we're off. Boise State making an early push near Hollywood. Might try to go down toward B to get the early plant. They get first blood against Southern Miss. .3v2.
Just trying to chase down this robot. Decides to ignore him and go for the plant. Looks like he's going to get it out. A little bit of the weight shifts towards B site now. As all 3 of the blue players still hanging out right around the bomb. Not necessarily locking crosshairs anywhere. So it's still going to be one-on-ones as we go through here. Penji going to take Mooch out. Mr. Robot's the last alive. Can he hop right around? And he's got a little bit in an
right
awkward
around
position.
The corner, lands it. Boise State off to a good start, but it is first to 6 rounds.
And I think that was a 2-on-1. I think we'll see the final shot over the shoulder. No, we won't. Right there. Benji taking the final bullets on to Mr. Robot. Find round 1 for the attacking side, and it's going to switch. And they go rushing on in, taking different plant pathways to get to either of the routes. We're going to see a little bit of util be thrown out early in the round. It's always a good time to use it since you've got it.
Ooh.
2v1 leads to the downfall of Neeb, player number 1. Now a 3-on-4 with a little bit of evidence. The bomb might be on B. Tywer.
Avo trying to watch down, see if there's a plant near generators.
Yeah, gets punished a little bit for it. Hopefully that health comes back up soon. Tywer still holding the bomb around B. Doesn't really know if he wants to plant or not.
Well, he's in this awkward position on the other side of the wall. He's going to finally move on to the point. He's actually taken the tunnel beneath the point.
Oh, Mr. Robot takes a little bit of damage, and so does Madness. Madness going to fly out of there and decide to live another day.
Trades back and forth. We're down to 2v3. Boise State trailing by 1. Nice around the corner. I don't know if he's expecting this. No, he's not. He gets taken out. Trade now 2v1. Southern Miss in favor, favored to win this. And they'll get the plant down at B.
Those walls around AC are a dangerous place. Many have fallen, and Madness is the last one left.
We're having a heli showdown. Right under the helicopter. Finds him. Now it's a 1v1. Can he bring this back? He doesn't decide to go up on planks. Will instead just go down right onto the point itself.
He taps it. He considers it. He does a little bit of a check out, and he's going to go for the stick. The timer's up, though. He knows it's happening halfway. Can you hold it together just a few more?
Oh!
In the last couple of seconds, he finds it.
Boise State up 2. That was a millisecond.
On a one-on-one clutch.
Pro stick it. We always say pro stick it in Valorant.
Pro stick it. That's always what they tell us. Important to note that 2 in a row does mean that they've taken a defensive and they're on to a nice offensive play here where they got plenty of time to do what they need to do and have a very short clock to defend. Hopefully, they can hold this together. It is a domineering hold to have 3-point advantage on a 1-to-6 situation. But first, they'll just have to do it. They're going to be running the bomb up in a little bit of a 1-3 split as one man holds heli from above.
See so much from up here.
You can. Indeed. including your brother planting around B, maybe. There's a little bit of crossfire angle set up around Penji. Anxiety peering from above. Whether or not Madness knows it. And there it is. Anxiety from around upper tanker. Takes out that man on the helipad. Madness down. Anxiety. His location's known, but that's not just enough. Penji, one of the last two alive and the only one not holding a bomb. Neeb under pressure to rotate from B to A. Check out the situation with one more man available. And he might just go for the plant. He's got one watching him, Penji. Can he hold from above?
I'm surprised Mr. Robot waited that long, but...
He may be looking for an easy defuse if you let him plant.
Probably. Yeah.
And he's really drawn Penji out. Tries to crouch, hang out for a little bit, and wait for that stick, but it's not going to happen. And Mr. Robot is going to bring in an easy defuse for round 3 and the first point for the Golden Eagles.
Now it's 2v1. Eagles back in the mix. Boise State moves back over to defend. Not even a chance.
No.
Now we're into round 4. Both teams going to get ready to charge forward through here. I wonder, after all this time, has the company put in stronger windows? The answer to that is no. Boise State making their way. One of these days they'll learn their lesson, but continue going for that shoddy workmanship.
See, I think they invested in bulletproof glass when they should have invested in elbow-proof glass. And that's, you know.
Oh, look at this flank here. Boise State didn't even see it.
Nope.
We saw the top of Anxiety's head, but Boise State turned toward Helly and paid dearly for it.
Yeah, Modern
Huge
Warfare.
advantage.
Modern Warfare, who has given up that cartoonistic approach to enemy signaling and opted for the gritty, realistic style, means that someone's whole head could pop around a corner and you might not recognize it.
I don't know. Have you seen the way the guns twirl in the air after someone gets taken out? That's still, I call that pretty cartoony.
I love also when you have your gun, you can always just pull the sidearm out of nowhere.
There's no way like a 20-pound gun like that is doing cartwheels in the air.
In any event, people definitely blend in a little bit better, choosing the right operator. Yeah, see that right there where you can just sidearm? I think that's funny.
Holding these guns like it's nothing.
Yep.
Recoil? What's that?
Yeah, no issues there.
Nate start things out, gonna land clear on the other side near Shack. We stayed gaining some high ground.
Hanging out behind
also and we were talking about that flank route that was taken by Southern Miss last time. Avo has it this time.
Yeah.
Kind of a split push down near Hollywood. Madness engaging in some fire.
He's going to climb on up to tank, try to get a better angle on Mooch. After he's made a little bit of fire, you have to reposition. It's all about being unpredictable. Attacking from different locations every time, and he's being hunted down. Takes a couple to the tail and just tries to sprint out to underneath, gets the blue. He's going to hold out and just try to watch both these angles, but it's an uncomfortable position. And behind Anxiety, Avo gets the first blood after so much contact, so much eye contact. So much chasing around. Avo's finally going to find that first blood. And Neeb with the bomb, looking for a plant, but man, he's under fire. Can anyone protect the president on the plant here? 45-second clock. And a big problem for Boise State is getting the plant and then leaving successfully. It seems the Irish exit is just a difficult thing to get down. Can there be a two-piece? As Penji gets greedy. He's calling it out. Bottom tank.
Now Blue. Wins the firefight. Another one.
That's a trade they'll take, though.
Yep.
Yeah. Boise State finding another point here. Finally up to the 3 that they were looking for. And interesting, Boise State took the attack. And now we see they took the defense. And then there was another defensive pull by the other team. And now an attack point for Boise State. It feels like the idea that the defenders are always down is not the case here. It feels a little bit more sporadic. 3 and 2.
World's strongest elbow. Off we go again. And more. We're going to have such a huge firefight here on B. A lot of Southern Miss pushing up through toward there.
But that is an early commit. I mean, We see both Boise State and Southern Miss come flying in. They even dropped a trophy right on top of B, and he's hanging out right next to the site marker. Just waiting for anyone, an absolute sentinel situation with someone watching behind his back getting ready for a trade. I mean, this feels like it's been protocoled. Mooch. Oh, a little bit of eye contact. One man peeking up and the other peeking below.
That's a huge pick there onto Neeb, bottom AC. That gives a possible route that their bomb holder can actually make it to one of the points.
But they just keep playing Ring Around Rosie around point B.
Oh, they took out the bomb holder. Boise State can watch it now.
Gets the drop. And from point blank, one man left, Meach, who's been cornered for a while now.
There's no need to get too aggressive here. They know, they spot the barrel of the gun right around the corner, but they know where the bomb is. He has to come to them. They landed. Oh, the nade to finish it at the end.
Martyrdom right there. Bringing Boise State to point 4. They could have also been bleeding the timer, because I feel like he could have confidently egoed up and just went flying into Meach, did a little bit of damage, and saved the rest for his team. But instead, he just played Ring Around the Rosie with him. And I mean, why not? Let the rest of your team get up onto point, do a little bit of assistance, bleed out that clock, make sure no one gets to the bomb, and they'll have no chance to plant. Boise State down 2 points away from taking it. Remember, that's not just for the round, that's for the match, that's for the game, that's for the night. Boise State and Southern Miss 2-2. Southern Miss has got to find another 3 points in a row before they can get ahead here and prevent a match point situation. It's search and destroy.
Meaning on top of elevators, it seems they kind of tentatively know Anxiety's up there, but it's a bit of an awkward position.
He's been up there before, and they're looking to punish him now. They don't know what side, right? They haven't made contact with him, but they suspect, and that's good play right there. That's what's putting Boise State ahead. Because, you know, everybody dies, but only losers die twice.
Yeah, they know he's there, put some fire on him, but it seems like Anxiety is being just enough of a distraction for Tyward to get the pick into the back of Madness. Anxiety ultimately wins the showdown with Avo, so it's just Neeb left to try to bring this back, 1v3.
Hanging around the point, we've seen a definite favorite of the map. Right here in Jenny, it feels like it's just a pit, a well. Pretty easy to hang around as that plant timer goes out. I'm not surprised. Anxiety is deciding to hold back and then come flying in the last second. It looks like the meta here is always to let them plant, because you can get an easy defuse then and close out the round if you're careful. That's exactly what happened. A quick .3 for Southern Miss. We don't see that thinking almost ever in Valorant.
Well, you get the clear audio cue as well.
It's true, but from above, and then he knows that he has time.
Southern Miss keeping this one interesting. They're now back within 1.
Neeb practicing his reaction time. Maybe just trying to show off both skins. Safe light repair. Right through the glass. Gonna throw a little bit of util out, dropping the trophy as well. Meach from the corner, spotted right outside the smoke. That's a quick flick. As First Blood comes out for Madness in that KDA high. It is left and right now, 2v2. A flash round. Could it be Neeb? Last alive. Still a full minute on the clock, and he goes down. Southern Miss with just hot oil in the pan, ready to cook. Southern Miss goes down on the seasoning.
Well, and also another thing about Boise State is they've really been relying on Madness to kind of clutch these rounds for them. None of the other players have a positive KD ratio. So if Madness gets taken out as the main pick from Southern Miss, then Boise State, I mean, when it's that lopsided in favor of one player,
they just want to bulldoze on through after that.
All your chips are in one pot.
Hopefully Madness this time is going to be able to play a strong hand and double those chips on up. Neeb holding the spike. Going to play a roundabout way to A, maybe. Something we don't see a whole lot of. Hanging out in blue. Oh! Last second, Toyer goes down. In the crouch, he was such A small target doing a lot of damage at once, but he's kind of stuck in the hallway there. And a quick dodge behind a barrel gives an easy advantage.
Robot hiding behind the shack.
After
Madness
a quick rotation.
holding down the high ground on Heli. He gets flushed out. It's now down to Penji, Neeb, and Avo. 3 players, like I said, haven't had a positive KD, and they lose their first showdown.
Penji and Neeb holding the bomb.
State is taking ground on elevators.
They may just look for the wipe here. Oh, a little bit of ring around the rosy. The bomb narrowly escapes the clutches of Anxiety, and Anxiety is going to go down as Penji shoots from above onto Mr. Robot. Can he find it? Tracking down after that Heli. You don't want him to get any stim. You don't want him to get any refill there. Meech only barely goes down in the elevator. And Boise State finally closes the deal. Bringing it up to match point, but only barely. You know, there's one more left that Ole Miss will need to find. But look at that. The recoil control there was incredible.
Boise State claim it right here, or will we be in for a prolonged experience? It all comes down to this. Boise State has trailed throughout most of this match, but they could bring it back here. Southern Miss to plant. Favoring A bit more in their push. Going to move through blue. Boise State has 2 defending A, although one is kind of split between A and B. Has a view over mid.
Tyward. Ooh, a couple shots onto Anxiety. Tyward down on the ground, hanging out in between the points. Gonna do a quick slide over and start considering a plant. Mr. Robot from out of nowhere. Takes Neeb, who's just laying prone.
Down, got to go showdown in blue right around the corner. They're able to get Mr. Robot 3v3. Bromholder just right next to that ladder to climb up and plant in generator.
This has been a much further back, a much reserved playing in the back foot, hanging out, kind of around. Not quite the energy that we've seen before.
Spots him in blue, nice.
Ooh.
Boise State now is just 1 player away. 3v1 from claiming the entire round. He's been moving down in these tunnels for so long.
Yeah, and with 20 seconds, there's just no way to do it. He does take one, bringing it up to a 2v1.
He goes up the ladder right onto generators. Boise State knows he's there, though. Oh, whiff on the grenade, though.
And that's all it takes. I don't think he's got time for a plant either way.
See him in the back. They claim it. Boise State gets the victory against Southern Miss. 3-2 overall in the match.
Clutch potential was so close there, but they closed it up by hanging out right on top of the points and just dominating.
Congratulations, Boise State, winning their Call of Duty match 3-2. They say first impressions anything for a first Call of Duty match. That was an exciting one to watch. Came down to the very end.
I think so, yeah. It was a good time. We got a nice long display through all 5 maps, and Boise State took the gold on it.
Well, we don't have much time before our Valorant match starts, so we're going to throw to our top 5 plays of the game, brought to you by the Idaho Army National Guard. Invites you to take your impressive critical thinking skills into real time. They have many jobs, of which offer a $20,000 bonus and your degree of choice paid for. You can live here, work here, and serve here with the Idaho Army National Guard. Reach out to them at Instagram at iGuardGaming. Enjoy your game highlights. We'll see you at the top of the hour with Valorant. Can he bring this back? He doesn't decide to go up on flanks. Will instead just go down right onto the point itself.
He taps it. He considers it. He does a little bit of a checkout, drops some utility, maybe regroup with the team, and through the street, one goes down. Tries to make the gauntlet, but you just can't do it. And another one, back to back, racking up that kill streak. PG's ass is a scary situation, but all the action is on B, and one of them is wide open. And now both control points are under owner of the Golden Eagles, but they're down on health.
Kill streak getting close to some abilities if he keeps things going. Oh, doesn't even see. Look at this back shot. They didn't check the angles. Goes through.
It's quick,
See,
too.
he's halfway there. Has enough time. Has to go in right now through the smoke grenade. Spots him right before the defuse happens. That's huge playing for As you can see, we're about 4 minutes out from Valorant at the top of the hour. Before we get to that, though, we've got an important news update we wanted to share with you. Jonathan Foraker, a varsity Overwatch player for Boise State, has recently received the opportunity of a lifetime. Foraker, also known by his gamer tag as Clear, is traveling to Korea to compete in the Overwatch Champions Series. Foraker left Boise last weekend and spent the next few months competing with DAF, a professional team in the tournament's Pacific Division. Foraker joined Boise State in fall 2022, originally from Annapolis, Maryland. He first met the Broncos at the Harrisburg University Esports Invitational Tournament in 2021. Since then, he's helped the Broncos win prominent tournament wins, including the Mountain West Championship, CECC West Regionals, and most notably the NACE National Championship. Foraker's time in the pro leagues will last throughout the spring. All of his classes this semester are online, so he won't be neglecting his academic pursuits. He will still be able to rejoin the Broncos at the end of the semester in time for collegiate playoffs. For those of you wanting to watch Clear compete with DAF in the Overwatch Esports, you can go to Overwatch Esports Korea channel on YouTube. They'll be broadcasting Pacific matchups every Thursday starting the first week of March at 5 p.m. Korean Standard Time. That is 1 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So all you night owls will be able to watch Clear at 1 a.m. Some more complete information, you can watch videos on Overwatch Esports Korea's YouTube channel and check out our official article at Boise State Esports, our official website under the Boise State University domain. That'll do it for the news update. We'll see you at the top of the hour with our Valorant match.
Can find me waiting in the dark, hide away my spark for the world to see. You can find me holding back my heart. You can't hurt me anymore. I'm free.
Welcome back to the Boise State Esports Arena. Boise State picked up a win in their Call of Duty match against Southern Mississippi. Now they will move on to their Mountain West Valorant match. Because Mountain West, we face the same team every single week. The ones we face earlier in the week in Rocket League, we face in Valorant. That means if it's Mountain West, that means it'll be the Air Force Falcons the Boise State are going up against. I'm your host, Jacob Palmer. I'm joined by Greg Olsol-Smith. Call all the action. And Greg, one thing I wanted to bring up is this happened just last week. Some new patch notes dropped, and now we've had a full week to marinate and simmer in them. And Chamber fans might have a little bit of reason for celebration. Last week, the 21st, they gave some slight buffs to Chamber. His bullets in the Headhunter now back down to 100 instead of 150 for the credits. And the fire rate on his Tour de Force has been increased just a little bit as well. And that's kind of something because Chamber used to be, when he was at his strongest, he was almost a must-pick for every
He really
stage.
was, yeah. When he first came out, he was a must-pick for almost every stage, like you're saying. It was impressive to get that same, assassination-style mobility right after a huge play that Jet has, to have those knives and then to blow up off the point and just have that Jet get-out-of-jail-free card. And now that they keep nerfing Chamber down, it feels like, not that he's less pickable, it's just that the meta is so volatile that other options become available pretty quickly. And we've seen Skye kind of come back in the last week or two after she got nerfed into the ground, and it really changed what we were expecting out of other players. But it'll be interesting to see where these Chamber patch notes take us on the Sentinel role and what that means for other Sentinel positions, because we've seen a lot more Cypher than I think we've seen basically all year.
Well, when the cost to reload that Headhunter is back down to 800 credits, it really is much more competitive now against the Sheriff. So
that's very true.
It's not like it's more at a premium now. There's really no excuse for the Chamber to just have his weapon of choice, which is how he prefers it. And in Valorant, as we did in Call of Duty, we have Doc's keys to the game for the Broncos in Valorant, and that's going to be to flank effectively, spend and peak wisely, diminish their economy and loot, and dominate those angles. It's all brought to you by Drop-In Gaming, the premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. Play your favorite games to win cash and prizes through free and paid entry matches and tournaments. Whether you're new to the scene or a seasoned veteran, Drop-In Gaming has the right games and competition for you.
Now, to give us just a little bit of a wind-up, Boise State did take their last week match on a technicality. So we didn't see a whole lot of action out of the Valorant team in terms of Mountain West. We've seen it perform well in the NACE, and there's been some ups and downs, but this is a little bit of a different stage.
It is, and one where a lot more of those regional rivalries can come into play. You got great schools like Nevada, but then you've also got UNLV, New Mexico Lobos, and Utah State as well. Even Hawaii. Hawaii's the one you want to watch out for in Valorant, because Hawaii has really been making moves. I do believe that Boise State wasn't able to take the championship last year in Valorant because of Hawaii. So they're kind of lurking in the corners, waiting as the big dogs to take down. But the journey to them is through a lot of the other teams, and we'll see how they fare against the Air Force Falcons here this week, as they are all up on stage there, ready to give it their all, perform at their best. And they seem pretty loose and limber, ready to go.
Yeah, all jerseyed up and Mike's hot. And if we have the second to take a step back, playing from Hawaii is wild. The training you have to do to be ready to play tactical 5v5 shooters on 200 ping. I mean, those guys are crazy. Mad respect to all Hawaii players for any tactical shooter game. But we're seeing a little bit of these picks pour in. Looks like we're shading on a little bit of a Gecko, maybe a little bit of a Fade, maybe a little bit of a Brim. Meanwhile, on the other side, that's exactly what we're going for. No Gecko action. Unfortunately, no big buddies running in from the defensive side. But Master calling in exactly what you would expect. Daimyo backing it up with a nice little pal. Oh, Skelesis. I didn't even see him. He did pick back Gecko. That's exactly what we've got going on. Rariana ready to split up the situation, make B a little bit diced into squares. And like I said, Cypher coming out from Jesus Lover.
Yeah, I got to say, Boise State has completely passed up on the Sentinel role. They've instead gone with 2 controllers and 2 initiators. So, I mean, nothing much in terms of a duelist. I mean, Reyes has always been there as the main kind of duelist on Bind, as has Cypher has been for the Sentinel.
Yep.
But Boise State is just completely not even thinking about the Sentinel,
and I don't,
which is they're also starting out on defense too.
What
the Sentinel was really good at.
And I don't hate that. So maybe they're going to be playing back foot a little bit on the defense, but maybe we'll see a very rushy defense. Sometimes Boise State will do that. They'll amp up the energy and they'll take things by storm. And here it is. It's Boise State against Air Force in the Mountain West. Boise State representing the PNW in Valorant. First map, Bind.
Broncos versus Falcons. Who will go off to the early win? And because this is best of 3, put themselves up to match point technically.
Yeah, and taking that first lead is a sweet, sweet position to be in. You just get to play around a little bit more with your options. You're not so against a wall if you can find yourself in that match point position as early as possible.
And a quick overview of Bind to see what we're playing as. Of all the classic stages, Bind's been the one that's kind of seen the most changes, I do wager.
It's true. And I mean, even if I don't think about the changes objectively, and I just kind of ask the community how we feel about it, we're still seeing it picked constantly. And I remember in the beta, I hated getting bind. I was sick of looking at it. It just felt dusty. But even just introducing new players introduces a new play style to the map. I mean, obviously, as we have one duelist and a few initiators and a few controllers, and no sentinel role at all, and even like you could say that Prestige on the Sky is going to play in a sentinel position, especially if we see him hang around in hookah with a shotgun. Watch out for that. I'm really excited for round 2 to see what kind of shotgun plays we can get going. And if you're a big, Boise State fan, you might see a little bit of that. It looks like they're going to lose their chance to do it right now, as we already see all 5 players of the Air Force come streaming down in to A site. Looks like they want a high energy play as well. Rariana already taking a big hit early on, trying to get a little bit of heal out from Sky. Give that pseudo sentinel position, or at least the best chance at a sentinel position we've got so far. A little bit of action early on. Air Force still playing strong, trying to take one down. Lover finds Master Rariana to reply, and they've got them all holed up in one position, but instead of throwing any nades, he goes flying on in, and Rariana's going to pay for it.
Pro stick it.
Sure enough, they get it down to a half. Trying to play around this smoke. Oh, and that early round energy from Air Force, knowing that losing her sidearm is not losing very much, but finding the round is all worth it because they are set up and they're playing a downhill battle. They just go tumbling on down right into Boise State here with a Marshal, 2 Spectres, a Bulldog, and a 3rd Spectre.
Now, what's interesting is, of course, it was pistol round, so Boise State couldn't have purchased it, but they had absolutely no one set up in lamps. And that's been a very crucial defensive hold spot for the Broncos. Last time we saw them there, we saw a Judge Ace be brought out. It was a one-clip ace, too. So for Boise State to not have anyone there, that was a lot of ground they gave up and over to Air Force for free. Now they're going to do quite the opposite. They have 1 in lamps, 2 up, A short. They do not want to make that mistake again.
Look at this, and I don't like saying the A word, but look at this aggressive hold in hookah. They're way up all the way into market, and it's going to be a little bit of action. He finds it. Gets that headshot.
Oh, watch yourself.
The classic. Prestige. Oh. Finds a second one and just keeps running. He's going to loop back around and connect with the team on A short, clearing out all of mid-market. Letting Air Force feel a little bit scattered. They're going to throw one back on mid-market through that contested territory, maybe pick up.
Remember, every gun is free. For every elimination they get, they can pick up one of those better guns that Air Force has purchased. Really change the credits around in their favor. Air Force goes in for the initial push on B. Gatsgalis holding back in elbow. He'll send out Wingman. Meanwhile, Master holding down back.
Ooh, and as that goes down, so much option, but he just can't connect. Daimyo gonna have to turn on that monitor if he wants to find any more action. And Vervi going crazy with that Marshal. Maybe a prospect for a little bit of opping later on. Although this map isn't really op central. And I will say this season we've seen nearly no skilled distance play onto the path from A high. And Nervi inevitably going to find that 3rd kill and close out the round with just a little bit of health deficit, getting that plant down for free money. And Air Force finds round 2. That was expected, and Boise State did a little bit of damage. Now they're going to be able to buy up all the way. They did throw some creds.
I think Boise State had a chance at it, but it was just all those missed sheriff shots up from hookah. That hurt my heart, just emptied the clip.
Yeah, you definitely want to be hitting the Kovacs, do a little aim trainer, maybe find a couple of death matches before you dive in, and that's why, emptied that clip on the wall and on the dirt before finding a head.
Also, Boise State has 10 more ping than Air Force right now.
And that's really all it is. Air Force really has an easy game here with that 10 ping.
I'm just saying, 10 ping difference. No, it's actually, no. It's really, look at this rotation through the teleporter. That's the real difference here. I was just joking referencing the ping, but this is what I want to see. Skelesis gets a triple. There's only 1 left to Cypher, and they've dropped the bomb as well, so they can keep an eye on it. They know where that Cypher has to go to. They'll throw the Ringman in on an angle. Available for the pickup. It's 2-on-1. Can they land it? Land the headshot? They do. Skelesis walks away with the quad.
Still, for a 2-on-1, that was a little bit too much eyesight. It was a little bit too much conversation before they got down to business. I want to see the deals made a little bit earlier, and I know it's round 3, and I know they might have gun diffs, and they might be playing a little bit slower just because they're low on armor. But man,
another thing also is, yes, they did win the 3rd round that they were expected to, but they lost 3 people, and that's 3 whole rifles And the credits lost. It's forcing Boise State to settle for the Guardian for one.
Settle for the Guardian for one on a low shield. Have another man with 0 shekels left in the bank. It's going to be a tough one.
It's tough.
It feels all or nothing. If they can find this, it is even keel for this round. And if they can find it, then they'll be doing all right to ride that money all the way into the next round. But if they can't, it's a tough save. And Air Force could be looking at 4 against 1, which is it says some bad things about the decision to go no Sentinel on a defensive round. We do have an ult charge. And there we go. Yep, Air Force is going to go ahead and pop it. I love being right. Air Force pulling out.
Crash is out. Oh, the double peek through the smoke wall. Boise State is trading pretty well. Air Force 3-2. They'll be able to get the plant down.
Yeah, when the dust
Master
settles.
take it back, though, using the blast pack around the corner. But they have clearly gone over toward A with the teleport, so they'll get just enough time to plant it. Master has to retake this, and he's got no abilities left whatsoever.
But if he takes a kill, he will have the paint shells left to deal with the last one. If he's careful here, no more ultimates left online.
But everything has to be a dry peek.
And he's in the place to be with the gun he's got. Yeah, you're right. They will be just desert dry peek. He is going to use that shot to cover him falling down. That's an old school trick. So they know he's either above and taking dry fires or he's down below and lurking. Kind of splits their attention and opens up the map for him. He's going to get a tap on it. So they're going to come.
They still have their util.
Yeah,
that's
he's
keeping him at bay. Oh, he gets
fighting
hit
an uphill battle
with the wingman, and yeah, he does not have enough time to defuse this. He's going to play it wise and move off for the save.
And it's uncomfortable, but that's just the way that it is. Going to hold on to that gun, go riding into the next round with just an eensy-teensy bit of an advantage. The problem is the rest of the team has no gun, so he's going to be taking one in, and the rest are just looking for bonuses that they can get on short contact play. With that in mind, Air Force is definitely going to be playing an anti-eco. Try to get some long distance with maybe some shoddy sidearms. That Guardian was doing overtime for a little bit there, but it just wasn't enough. Boise State, sure enough, chomping at the bit, really looking for these really close angles to get the most out of their eco. Master, one of the only ones left with an actual arm.
Dizzy right back in front of him. Exchanges a little bit of fire with Rich, and gonna have to move back out.
Yeah, they don't want to take those long angles. Prestige using the dog. Oh, the Trailblazer does find one. And Tilt going wild. Already finds a 2-piece. 2 ults available. Does Prestige want to drop it for the round? He might not find it. It's almost reverse ace area here, as Nervy gets an easy plan onto an empty site.
Not gonna fall for it second time, but the cage goes right on.
Skill assist with a little bit of a pixel peek there.
Good.
It's just not good. It's basically a semi-save where he has nothing to save, but if he goes flying in, he'll lose everything. So he's just going to take a couple of shots off, let them get greedy and peek for him, but it's all they need. And the peeker's advantage with that 10 ping was the only thing that gave him that flawless, really. I'm just kidding. Boise State down. And it's looking like a tough defensive side.
I just want to point out, it says Rich AF, which that's obviously Air Force, but considering he has almost 5,400 credits, it could be the other way around as well, and it would still fulfill his name. So yeah, credits are great for Air Force.
Yeah, they are all feeling rich, Air Force right now.
Boise State, they got to take this round back. They've gone all in on the Vandals, a few small shields as well, and there are a few. There are a few Phantoms on Air Force, so it's not negligible, the effect that can have.
Cypher ult out as well, which could help them in deciding what plant spot they want to go to, considering they're in a big split right now, but it's not a spike in pocket split, as player 0 is still holding on to it. Trailblazers are going to go down, gives them just as much info as if they had got up and gotten a concussed at that distance, so they're okay with that. Lover holding the spike, hanging right around the corner, looking to flick with Rariana. Rariana's doing a little bit of a shoulder peek, though, so they almost lost some health off that one. They decided to back up.
Damio is able to catch one of them in the rotation. It's traded back by Air Force.
Oh,
Dizzy landing right on, still manages to find one right through the smoke. That's the opportunity. He's going to throw down the snake bite, keep him at bay even longer, because that spike is down.
Under the spike.
Launch thrown out.
He was on Dizzy and he was on Smoke, and he still finds it double blind. Only, oh, they're coming after him. So much util in this corridor, just trying to recover the spike. I mean, the win con has changed. The weight has all been moved towards this hallway. They can't even pick up the orb. Even more smokes out. Probably don't know Roriana's around the corner, and that hot doesn't help at all. Tilt on half health has got to play the back foot. There's an extra gun hanging on the
Rotation
ground.
Over Damio, though. Nice! Landed in there. One tap.
Oh, the trade does come out, but 15 seconds. They're going to have to sprint right to the site, and they know it. Can they get to truck in time? Master from around the corner is going to let him have the plant.
No,
he's not.
Fires right through the smoke. I love it when that happens.
That is it for the round. Boise State takes another one. Master in the last couple seconds to find Hex. Just for that extra sweet money. And Air Force, they lost a lot there, but they had tons of money in the bank, as we discussed earlier, so it should be another nice gun round both ways. And this Roriana just stuck in the corner. Lets Tilt run away with it, but under that low health, they decide to pass the spike over to Lover, who goes right down, and Tilt is able to use that info advantage, playing the back. I mean, it's just good understanding of the composition here. You don't want your man in front to have low health. You want him to be on the swing and play with extra info. Boise State again to compensate for it's too easy to flank a team without a sentinel, so they've got to play really aggressive, really in your face. Lover tagging around this corner. Roriana didn't learn his lesson, is ready to do it again. Just keep peeking with the knife, wait. Make sure no one can run up that. Really controlling the area, doing well to the controller name. Watch him from the other side, the sentinel hanging around Fountain, so if Roriana gets jealous, Lover could take him down. But that's all the action there is. I mean, we're down to a minute, and the pace is slowed. Air Force doesn't want to lose his money here. Seekers are going to go out.
Yeah, slowly going in through mid.
So they can't
market
can't go
right
much of a
on.
place.
Yeah, the Cypher's going to be take him all out himself.
Yeah, and that earliest gunfire you hear is going to be the soonest you're going to see an enemy, because that's where they started drilling the Seekers. So Roriana runs safely on up to the front of Fountain, but can't go much further without much info. But he's set up for a good flank.
It is a nice angle on the molly. He moves in, he sees him, but the Dizzy hits him before he can get a shot in edgewise. Bombot thrown out. Damio picks up one. It's now 5v4, but Rich fighting back. Prestige comes in with such a double, and Master as well. The orbital strike doesn't even make a difference, and they're able to take an ultimate off of Air Force as well.
Yeah, Master and company with that two pair, just closing the hand. By what seems like no utility. Yeah, Daimyo with the kicker card early on. That ultimate just wasted.
Well, they knew the spike holder was in that corner, so doesn't surprise me that you kind of got some collaterals there since they were all so bunched up. Early Hawk out through Fountain. Seems to be the route Air Force is favoring. Around the corner they peek again, a few jump peeks. And gets a whole bunch of shots in return, but nothing hit Prestige.
Whoa.
So he'll be able to give that info on over toward his team, who quickly rotates around. Showstopper out in force. It does manage to pick up one. It managed to get Master.
Menacing. I don't know if an ult is worth a kill, but he definitely got lots of space off of it. Air Force owns the area now. Boise State gonna have to fight their way back in. Throw in the bird. Ooh.
Orbital strike to clear things out, gets them from long range. Dizzy as well to provide them with more cover. Prestige has a double. 3 left though, they take him from behind. Lover with a double. Damio trying to bring this back himself, but again, he's a bit to the right as well, and he's had a little bit of trouble with the gun aim in some of those face-offs.
Yeah, a lot of back and forth. This one felt like a nice, easy clear around. And then they just go down in an unexpected time. Lover takes a pair. Daimyo took a pair.
We were also saying, though, Boise State completely bypassed choosing a Sentinel as well. So it's kind of interesting of how much they give over toward Air Force while they are on defense. So
it's true, but I mean, 3 to 5 is not bad when you're expecting it to be your down half. They're doing all right, and if they play, as well as this on the reverse or better, then that's a win for them. So it seems like they've put all their chips on attack and are willing to fight uphill first. So hopefully Boise State can hold it out in the long run. Air Force is hoping that all the money they put onto attack is not going to pay off, and that this is going to be the feeling as they march on through.
Thrash brought out, stopped in choke. Stim goes out, Nightfall as well. Just a clear B out consistently. Doesn't look like it hit anyone from the Broncos, although one of them, Daimyo, is marked. Wingman will go down to plant. Does a great job, as he always does. And now Boise State having to retake.
Yeah, Boise State kept all 5 players, but is that the only advantage they get out of using a defensive ultimate on A? I mean, they knew that they were trying to funnel Air Force towards B, and Air Force let them do it.
Wow, look at that spray. Trying to take things back. With the Stinger, actually lands it. They didn't have the gun advantage, but now they have a 5-2 person advantage. There's 2 left, one back in hallway and the other in elbow. Boise State off the advantage is going to throw down some smoke. Just try to stick it out to claim the round. Can they do it? Yes, they can, and they're just one away.
I don't know what you're talking about, no gun advantage. He had a Stinger. It's Stinger meta. He was destined. And look at that. Yeah, that just spray and pray. Gets the control after the 3rd bullet to really hone it on in. Finds it. And bonus is up immediately. Holding that Vandal is all he needs. And this defuse is impressive. 2 left on the clock. Lover takes one down. It's getting a little bit thin. That Judge play coming out of the smoke is beautiful to see. And that's all it took. Right on top. Air Force. Just 1 point ahead. Boise State is creeping up slowly here.
It's
one
an
step
outside
back.
chance, but still a chance that Boise could finish this half up 7-5, or at least tied. And Air Force is on their first economy round of the half. They're split up pretty evenly between A Short and Baths. Rariana taking a few early peeks out. Prowler thrown through, forcing Rariana back onto the point. And some early smokes going down as well. Moving on back, has to throw the snake bite. Oh, gets hit with a headshot. Luckily for him, it was a Phantom, so it wasn't a Phantom, it was a handgun, but still, he's only at 3 health. Has to go back, get some healing from that Sky. Rich lands one with the Sheriff. Nice wallbang by Daimyo. 2-person advantage will hold him back even more with the Molly. And lands one with the Molly, too.
So satisfying to get those Molly kills.
Around, they're trying to throw the Hawk moving in, and he's the spike holder.
Yep. Like an ant under magnifying glass, they just follow him, crushing in.
So that first pick, they got the first blood, so I was a little nervous then, considering that was an economy round for them. But Boise State didn't make too many mistakes after that and took up the win that they were expected to on Air Force's economy.
Now, and if you looked at the way they played that A site, they all played very back and facing in. I mean, their sight angles just were brightening up the A site from all the crossfires they had ready. It was very deliberate. There were no unforced errors, and they did an excellent play there. Now, low creds on the side of Air Force. None of them hitting the comma, the 4th digit. So if they can't find this round, it's going to be a tough one for them. Skelis making sure that money goes away. That was Nervy gets an early plant on.
Such a gutsy double blast pack.
Yeah, 2 blast packs in a dream. It's the Rays way to play, I guess.
Moving around the corner, they throw out a Molly on toward point. So much utility, making this spike hard to defuse. They have to take out the post planners first. They managed to get 1. Boise State even keel of 3 apiece. Takes a nice 2-on-1 in A Short, but TLXT has a nice side angle through Baths. One of them has to move in to defuse right now. Nice spray transfer to land it for Boise. They win by 1. Rariana, thank him for that one. 2 health.
Yeah, I don't care what it says. That was a clutch. 2 health and a dream. The man defuses after 2 kills from that's crazy. Also, is it just me, or has 1 round of COD made me UI soft, or are they really dumping utility? Because I feel like there's so much going on every single round. Air Force is willing to just unload their kit every single time, just dumping their backpack out onto the floor.
I will say we have done COD a few times beforehand, like for some tournaments, like winter tournaments and stuff, and there is a UI there. It just wasn't fully shot.
But the util here, are they throwing more util than I've ever seen this season? Because it feels like everyone is just throwing creds out the window.
To be fair, a lot of the util in COD is nades, whereas you have kind of a, you have whole entire walls thrown out here.
True.
In terms
Wow,
of Valorant, so it probably looks a little bit more like that. Prestige lands the first blood against Rich. He's still taking fire, though, through Hookah. Blind goes on to Ariana through the Dizzy. There's a split push from Fountain and Hookah. Continues to push in the Broncos to pick up one around the corner. Now it's even 4 apiece. Boise State uses the orbital strike, trying to keep the Falcons at bay. Spike is dropped right on point. Great positioning for Boise. You can now just watch over this spike. Damio holding this op.
Right here.
Not really a traditional opper, the Brim, but we'll see if he can land the shot nonetheless. He knows where he is.
Yeah, he's just waiting, looking to catch. Ooh, might get a little bit awkwardly close. Sees him go across, nothing he can do about it going in. Nice. Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's only one thing you can do with the detain. You got to take the little bit of showmanship there.
And I get that, and he had his situation covered by other people going in, but I don't know if he was going to go for the 360 up close op shot, no scope, or if he was going to go for the melee. It looks like he considered a couple things himself, but it's good. And I mean, I'm not going to call it BM when it happens once. That's mental game.
They're counter.
Okay, that's what I thought. We got an associate on board telling me that, yes, this has been a util dump from both teams, which creates a small hole in the pocket as far as creds go. Now, there it is. There's the hole in the pocket as far as creds go.
Yeah, we know for sure what route Boise State's taking. But the one thing we're saying, we're talking so much about when Boise State gets on attack, but you also got to remember Air Force did a pretty good job attacking with the Cypher, who's going to be very instrumental now that he's in the defensive position. So it could go either way for both teams, quite honestly. Boise State moves on in, that Cypher hanging out behind the smoke in elbow. Can't move too far forward. The spike plant isn't able to go down. That camera got so much information against the Broncos. They will get the spike plant. That Cypher's still holding back in elbow. Boise State pushing through in a 2-on-1, trying to take him around these corners, but they're going to run into the full might and fury of Air Force in this hallway if they push up too far. And they land the headshot. Dizzy around the corner, trying to land it. One of them gets blinded. And they get one pick against the Broncos.
The Broncos on the escape, coming right back around, back onto the main site. Master finds one. They're going to try to back up, get a little bit of contact just on both places, making sure Nervy doesn't get the defuse with that buddy. Lover up close is going to find Prestige with Hex finding one. Oh, Rariana with the reply, though, brings it down to just 2 members remaining. That'll be good for the credits, but goodness, they were so close. Just so close, both on time and on health to the Rays. Maybe could have had that one, and that's something we were looking for. Is Boise State really that much better on attack that they're going to take this one in a landslide, or should they maybe have picked up a Sentinel earlier and got themselves a couple extra points on flanks alone in the defensive half? So they have lost both of their pistol rounds, which just could mean the Air Force is ready to play nice and quick, kind of everything all at once, and get out those fast rounds.
Stinger meta.
Stinger
really. And yeah, Boise State, this is a really gutsy purchase from them. They're going all in. They are not doing the standard save on round 2. They want to retake this.
This is their guns a-blazing moment, though, and I want to see the glory. There it is. Boise State comes.
Does one of them hit the tripwire, though? It's right there. They know it's there. Oh, but Lover right there through the smoke still manages to pick one up. No doubt using that camera to still know where Boise State is, even if he is smoked off.
Must have been, because he only had a Spectre. Going to throw smoke. Just, dare I say, chain smoking. This corner right here, Rariana.
Oh, nice gun upgrade.
Very nice. A bonus is a domineering hold, 4v4, and now the gun difference is starting to shift a little bit. Still holding Stingers in very, very close angles. Look at that. You can't pop out behind the shiny, behind tube.
Prowler goes
trying
out,
to time it, but it's not good enough.
Scary view.
Yeah, tilt. Still uncomfortable to come in. Tilt does go flying around the corner and takes 1 for 1. A trade they think might be worth it. Boise State.
He's bailed out by Rariana with that Bulldog we were talking about.
Yes.
That bonus earlier, it came in clutch.
And he's going to bonus down to the Spectre.
But he's only got 15.
The hunt. Daimyo does go down to the spike as Prestige finds a Nervy, so it comes out to a 2-man remaining, which is exactly what Air Force had. This is Boise State, I would say, a successful second-round reach, something that we don't see very often.
I do have to wonder if it is an AFK from Air Force,
Right.
though, so we might have a break, might not, but we'll see how the Falcons are doing.
We thought he was maybe just getting a little sip of agua. We'll have to see whether or not we get a call. Yeah, the timer was a solid 16, so
Yep.
it looks like that's going to be a quick tack break.
And it makes me wonder if they'll give that round back to Air Force.
No, because he was acting earlier, wasn't he? He was pointing the wrong way to be AFK.
Yeah, that is
early
true.
on.
Yeah, so he must have started the round. Well, we'll see what the Broncos and the Falcons work out towards. But overall, I mean, great gameplay in round 2. Looks like we're going to take a few looks at how the first half turned out. And Boise State, again, got off to a slow start. The pistol rounds have evaded them so far, but they had a bit of a rally later on. That's a scary sight. Both of them instantly pop out through that Viper wall, and you can't get both of them, so you only have to focus on one and hope for the best, and didn't work out.
Yeah, and it's just so fun seeing those rounds, like last round with the fun guns coming out, and seeing the shift in the playstyle instead of everyone playing a medium distance. So it was nice to see the bonuses changing as they move away from the Stingers early on and more into the Spectre distance. And this Stingy, sorry, what is that called? The Dizzy.
The Dizzy.
The Dizzy Nate has been up
It's
nonstop.
either that or an affectionate name you give to your Stinger. This is my little Stingy.
Yeah. No, the Dizzy has been on cooldown. They've been popping that one. And every time I see it, I just think of the squid ink from Mario Kart. The way that it kind
blooper.
of the blooper just splatters, but not quite the corners of the screen.
I will say much more effective in Valorant than it is Mario Kart.
Yeah,
okay,
that's true.
Everyone will agree that the blooper is basically useless in Mario Kart. It does nothing.
Yeah, because you just keep holding W in Mario Kart and in Valorant. Or wait.
That was the one thing they asked. They once asked, while we take this break, I'll take a quick aside. They once asked Reggie Fils-Aimé, former head of Nintendo of America, they asked, what do you think is the most powerful weapon in Mario Kart? A lot of people would say blue shell. You could also say bullet bill. But I would say, maybe the red shell because it's so versatile and auto-targets. But he said blooper, and everyone was like, come on, Reggie.
The lightning strike is the most upsetting.
Yeah, lightning can just... I always hate lightning. You're always in a good ruin, and then the lightning comes. The music's all messed up. It's never a pleasant surprise for anybody.
No, it's very true.
And it's always coming from the person in last place too. So
right, and as a last place gainer, the bullet bill doesn't upset me that much because
No,
they go
no.
flying by and it's like, all right, I get it. They wanted a little bit of a boost, but
they get up to 5th or 6th place, but it's not completely changing the game around.
no. And the truth is, whoever was in 12th to begin with is not going to be a menace at 6th place.
Yeah,
right?
that is true. They usually just fall back towards 12. That is it for our aside rambling, though, about Mario Kart. Let's do some aside rambling about the actual game we are playing, which is Valorant. And it looks like we're still trying to fix some issues. Boise State, though, had such a huge rally. By the way, I do have to say that is a purple dinosaur, but that isn't Barney. It's a purple dinosaur.
Wait,
but
is that Rex from Risk of Rain 2?
might just be, yeah.
That's Acrid? It's Acrid. Thank you. Not Rex. That's my bad. Rex is a plant. I didn't see his cute little eyes. I wouldn't notice Acrid from anywhere. That man is impossible to get in the base game. I had to do some devious things to get very close to 100% in that game. But, well, good to see Acrid on desk, helping out the boys. And look at those gentlemen lined up.
He has a great seat, too, right above the computer exhaust as well. So it's heated seating, if you will.
I think so. Our seats definitely aren't heated. But it's getting heated here on desk.
Oh!
Well, thank you. Yeah, well, that's what I'm here for. It's a pretty tight game so far, and we were talking earlier about the big gamble that Boise State's taking in this loadout, which is they don't have any Sentinels, which it looks like was going to be the most damaging position on the defense, which they decided to take early on. Here's the maps. If we want to talk about from one wasteland to another, we're moving into Icebox next.
There could be no foliage whatsoever. Lotus is just there taunting us.
Yes.
Until then, you're going to see absolutely no plant life.
Boise State would love to dodge Lotus entirely by simply taking out these two maps and sending the opponents home. Ooh. Looks like the boys are getting a little bit of a dismissal. Might go for a quick water break or bathroom break, but
oh, we got two disconnects. So I don't know if we want to take a break right now and get back, or if we continue talking. Yeah, we will take a quick break. We'll look to get all this sorted out and be back with more Valorant right after this.
We're going to build bridges and hospitals in a day. We're going to save families from disaster and feed those left in the cold. We invite you to join us. The next greatest generation is now.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Once there was a traveler whose feet never left the ground. With only his mind as his map and his senses his compass, he raced into the great unknown, armed only with the speed of legend. His trails he blazed, his rivals he played. Every sprint a blur. Every turn trusting his allies. In silence he raged and waged with quickening, sickening speed. His name a chant filling arenas. Because some heroes leave footprints, others an afterburn. Without conflict, there is no resolution. Without verses, there is no victory.
Home is where you hang your hat, snuggle up, hide out. Home is when you're with the ones you love. It isn't just a place, it's a state of mind. At Idaho Central Credit Union, our home is Idaho. We grew up here, and we're proud to help more Idahoans with their home loan than any other financial institution. Idaho Central Credit Union. We believe home is where you make it.
We're going to build bridges and hospitals in a day. We're going to save families from disaster and feed those left in the cold. We invite you to join us. The next greatest generation is now.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Welcome back to the Boise State Esports Arena. We're currently in a bit of an intermission in between our match between Air Force and Boise State University. Boise State started out on a little bit of a slow start, has lost both their pistol rounds. They're currently halfway through the first round in bind. Last time we left the score, it was at 7-6. Boise State, actually 8-6 since they just won the last round. So Boise State maintaining a tentative lead, but things could change as we go on, as we're looking to get a few issues sorted out connection-wise with the opposing team. Sometimes Storm Wi-Fi is just like that. And yeah, I got the confirmation, 8-6 between both teams.
Yeah, which is impressive because it sounds like they're a little bit in a bind when you say that they've lost. Thank you. When you say that they've lost the first two pistol rounds.
Okay, I let you have the first one. You're on thin ice now with the second.
Oh, I'll be on thin ice once we get to Icebox. Our next match coming up.
He won't be here all week.
That's okay.
I'll make sure of that.
I'll be here all week.
All right, let's get back into the action. Boise State versus Air Force. Can the Falcons fly high to victory, or will the Broncos stampede to a win? I can do it too, Greg.
We have a counter going. Hold up in the bathroom here. Daimyo trying to lead the charge to get out. It's a successful push from Ariana, but a couple of trades coming out from Tilda. Two-piece, Prestige and Master each to find their one. For Ariana to double down and look for this last player. One man left. It's a Sentinel crop just coming up slowly through the smokes as that initial utility is going to fall down. Lover, can he find just one or two and make a little bit of a difference. He is dealing with one player on low health. Maybe trying to wait until the clock's a little bit lower. Considering a save, perhaps. A classic alt-fire is all that stands between him. Oh, nice. Nope, Prestige going to drill it on down. Crouching after the third bullet with no issue. A quick flurry on the knives to showcase .9.
I was legitimately worried. You missed that first tap when you're trying to hold that crosshair placement just like that. Your heart kind of stops there for a split second. Luckily, it was just a nice adjustment for Prestige to get the win. But it isn't full rifle purchases for Boise State. Remember, they had that awkward purchase in the second round of the second half. They went all stingers. Worked out for them, but it means the general rules of having all rifles by this time in the game doesn't apply.
Yeah, the pretty laissez-faire economy means that everyone's going to watch their own budget here. Master, 2 blast packs and a dream goes flying in for nothing as the little snake bite's going to hold him at bay. That does mean they get a free ping on that ult orb, which brings them just one step closer to having another ultimate. Could be a leg up, as Air Force only has 1 ult out, and it's a little bit situational. I don't think we've seen it pop so far. Rariana leading the charge around the fountain as an eager Air Force backpedals away from Garden. And we're going to see a little bit of creep up towards Hookah. A full rotation. Ooh, a beautiful dizzy shot.
Yeah, right over the wall.
Excellent timing, but they don't capitalize on it. They're just going to use it as info. Pop out that smoke, and that's all they need. And that was an interesting transition.
Thrash doesn't get the detain on anybody, and Hex has a nice cross angle. A double bombot, however. Hex has a triple. Can he turn that into an ace? He's just 1 away. Is on the side of Air Force, but out sure an ace
will Lover
either
give it to
way.
him?
Or Prestige, yeah,
Lover.
Lover gets it to him first.
Unbelievable. Stole the poor man's ace. It's all right. The 4 of a kind is good enough for them to take it, and that brings it up to 9 and 7. All I was saying earlier is that Boise State, despite losing both of their pistol rounds, it doesn't mean that they lost those initial 2 sets of 2 rounds, because instead of playing, coloring inside the lines and playing by the rules, they decided to go for a reach, which put them kind of in a weird situation for this round. So they really only took out a loan for that second round and just repaid it. Hopefully, they now have the creds to play a decent. We're going to follow this snakebite, see if it goes exactly where they need it to.
Nice
Beautiful.
line up right on both
with the
of them.
blind.
It was just perfectly coordinated. However, Rich can throw out his own sort of grenade, pick up Prestige. Damio also bites the dust. Boise State, despite that impressive opening, is now down to just 2v4.
Whoa. Almost gets trapped there for a second. Rariana kind of in an uncomfortable position. Oh, speaking of uncomfortable positions, Skelsis holding the spike just outside the hallway of B long. It's difficult to say, can they get a quick rotation onto A through Bath and maybe use the ultimate, the Viper's Pit, to really hunker down on A? You'd have to escort Rariana outside. Maybe that smoke is all that they'll need to do. It really sets into fight or flight because they can keep gunning through that. Sure enough, he's going to rotate away. Man, but 38 seconds left. It's enough to go to the other site,
Yeah,
but it's not.
It's enough to go to the other site, so they might.
Oh, that's kind of it right
And this
there.
might just be a save,
It's down
I
to a
think.
save. Yeah, really it is. So he's going to backpedal. He's going to ignore this ult orb, I think. Good man.
He'll
Look
take
at him
it.
go.
Yep, take it, and then
teleport
teleport on out of there.
He has to be careful here because they haven't seen the Cypher yet, and he knows it.
One of them might go chasing. He has them in an ambush, though.
Yeah, he does have the ambush position, but they can also backwalk
Oh, they're going to
in.
take it. Take the bait.
Oh, I don't think they will.
Nope, they don't.
No.
They're smart about it, too.
I wouldn't. I'd be greedy, I'll be honest.
Oh.
Oh?
No.
No, what is he doing to
You're
us?
playing with my emotions here. The best of bad situation. Gets a tick on his ult. Will save the rifle. They will have to go into an economy round, however.
A little bit of an eco means they probably won't want to use an ult, but they have 3 of them, and you don't want to pace those out, right? Because dumping 5 ults and taking a round is bad when you could have used 2 to get the round. So I could anticipate them, if they get a couple of decent kills here, going all in, bonusing up with those arms, and using an ult to try to secure it. But we'll see if they come out flaming from the very beginning, which is something I don't anticipate. Air Force could be lining themselves up for a tricky situation if Rick and Hex go down here. I could see them going for it. Sure enough, they throw their no, they throw their utility over Rariana, but Rariana just can't place it and has that low fire speed, and he goes down. Spike in the pocket. Skelesis has no option but to grab it to make sure that all their efforts to get through the thick jungle of utility that's on B, which they're unfamiliar with now. They don't have a Sentinel, so they can't really play back against Lover here.
Right here.
Oh,
Yeah,
just
just
shots taken through the smoke. Doesn't
shots
find
in the
anyone.
dark. Always worth it. The menacing.
Stim out to a lot of the
Intimidation.
players, however. Stimmed out around.
Oh, and he was lined up too. It was so lined up. Tilt gonna take Prestige and get moving along onto Master. Daimyo is actually the one that goes down.
Considering it is a save round, it's not
Tilt.
It isn't negligible that they were able to get the spike down. They'll get the credits for that.
True.
And that small lead Boise State has. Air Force has clawed it back to a 9-all.
Which is tough to see if Boise State is, you know, their better half has actually been
I don't
the
know,
defensive
Greg.
half.
We got pocket nines showing. Are you going all in for the Broncos?
They have money now. They have money now. They can actually change their betting spread, and they can probably get in there now that the count is high.
Talking about spread, also, there's very little of a spread between the players in the KDA, whereas Air Force is a little bit more varied. It's Tilt who's really been
It's
the main
true.
player and the main target that the Broncos might want to try to get as first blood.
Ooh.
Yeah, they got the lineup.
This is fun.
These
We
are
should do this more often. Right on his... What? Oh, it's a smoke.
Not a
Oh, they
snake
got
bite,
me
but
like
it's a
that.
smoke.
They just keep playing games with me. It is a split push in the way you wouldn't expect.
Got to be careful, though. There's a lot of tripwire set up around this, and there's also the camera, so that Cypher.
Oh,
Nines,
man.
they take him out, and this is just wide open for the taking.
Yeah, the one-for-one trade, a little bit worth it as Skelesis can get into the plan. And do we see the Viper Spit on top? Do we see the Viper Spit on top of it? They'll have to get all the way over, but it would be so worth it if they can find it in time. They might be just here for the flank. Is it going to work on them? They do have a smoke that's really taking the attention off hands. Oh, please. Boise State. Just barely playing catch-up here, trying to get out of the way.
They're just going to stand right
Ow.
in the face of fear and use a show.
No! The ult off. He could have clicked, but he was blind. He didn't know what was in front of him, and I'm surprised he let it almost expire and went down to Nivri, getting an easy defuse out with a buddy. That was devastating. We saw so many ults just thrown into the fire. We get to catch that one in slow motion there.
Yeah, I have to see the replay on that one.
Yeah, that was tough because we had a blind go out on top of a molly. So we had a player that didn't want to move their grenade launcher, their rocket launcher, the big party ender, any closer to the middle of the field. So one was shot at them. And it's upsetting seeing that go to waste. And the Fade ult came out, but no one was nearby. So no one got the little seizure. Another early round lineup that we're going to trace all the way across. And
yeah,
this
it's
is the same
one.
smoke.
Yeah, same smoke.
It's going to go off with that wall. A fun one. Oh, and they're actually playing outside the wall. So they're willing to take the op chance instead of the shotgun chance. And as it goes down, as they've done a little bit of a clear out, they're now dry peeking.
It's a pretty safe bet. There isn't really anyone for Air Force. You don't have a jet or a chamber, so don't really have to worry about the op. And
yeah.
I doubt that Air Force would go in for that big of a purchase.
Oh, no.
Trying to land it. Breaking my heart. Lands it, though. Oh, my goodness.
2 left in the chamber, and he's going to go for it.
How did you survive that long? Can
He
you
has
land
to
a
place. That's it. See, he had 2 left in the chamber. He couldn't reload. He had to place that shot, so he had to go nice and slow. He had the heal, so he thought he could take a little bit of a drown damage if he could move back and forth, but didn't come out in the end. It was still a trade. Boise State is still up very much.
Actually land the
Oh, my
thrifty.
goodness. They need to put the Sheriffs away. Skelesis finds one.
That will be a free gun pickup.
And Prestige gets an easy plant. 1 man left, and that ultimate's just not going to help him out of this one. Daimyo.
Not technically a thrifty, but so many of them had only sheriffs that outcounted as one.
Yeah.
10 each.
Even though, well, here's the thing: the sheriffs didn't do any of the kills. Is the
That is
problem.
true.
What that was a carry, not a thrifty. But we really can't say that Boise State has a carrying player here with 16 at the max and 13 at the min. Meanwhile, Tilt almost doubling their younger brothers here.
And Rich
lower
still
in the
living
ranks.
up to his name. He's
Yeah,
sitting
Rich-
at more than 5,000 credits.
Still doubling the credits. The Air
Oh,
Force
more.
definitely has
Yeah,
an
we
interesting
get-
team dynamic.
Orbital strike as well. We get a bird's eye view of it. There's no one there, however.
Yeah.
That's just an even more deadly spot
Yes.
now. So much damage placed onto absolutely nothing.
We're seeing an Air Force trickle in as Boise State owns the site so far. It's a quick plant, but they got to get right on out of there. Master with the stim expiring is looking to move down and guard the flank.
She's still gunning for you.
Oh, that Thrash is out again, gets the concuss. Boise State
Nice.
picks
Nice.
it up, a double,
Three.
a triple. That's how you want to use it. Shark is out, and it's a fish fry against Air Force. All of them down in one corner. Boise State up to 11.
3 of a kind with 2 kickers. An excellent play there. It is so just harmonious to hear all 3 of the noises go off.
Also, one person I definitely want to call out, if I'm to guess who the observer is, which it's probably Dallin, as a member of our production team, Valorant player himself. So that kind of explains why the camera work has been so on point. We've been getting views of all the plants, all of the lineups here, like we're probably going to see right here. Just got to call you out, Dal. Oh, it's Colin and
Quality.
Ari, actually. I got to call you two out. You two you're killing it right now.
Yeah, Miss Strasser,
Oh,
excellent
look,
work.
it's going to get...
Not as bad as earlier
maybe
when
like
it
5
bonks him
to
on the
10
head.
damage.
Rich getting an early blood and Prestige doing writing him a quick reply. The pen pals will go on to fight another day as Daimyo around the corner tries to set up a smoke and is absolutely caught off guard, popping out. Skelesis finds him
Wingman's gonna plant
and is
spike.
going to bonus that right up. He's going to run straight forward, but
Oh, does he actually
Wow,
get it?
they
Yeah,
let him-
he's got it.
they really let him take it. They had an easy shot onto him.
Well, there's really no one there. Yeah, it's only this Fate who's just now starting to rotate.
True.
They'll use the teleport, but he's got their number. Trades 1 for 1.
1 for 1's good. They have
2
the
apiece.
information as well, and they're playing off the point still. That
Move
Trailblazer
in.
making it difficult to get on top Tilt. Really, as soon as they ping 2, they've got paint shells waiting for them.
Remember, Tilt is the top fragger, though. He's the main playmaker. They'll throw out the wingman. They have to throw out the paint shells to stop him.
Oh, no.
He does get it to half, though.
Half is strong. They do take Tilt down. That is menacing.
Oh!
Oh, no. The 2
They
blast
landed a
packs and a
headshot,
dream.
though. He is like,
Oh, there it is. That is so tough. This
Oh.
match has been on the edge of my seat.
the Phantom Vandal difference in the headshot
Incredible.
almost was
I
crucial.
thought for sure we were going to see Master use those 2 blast packs and all of his health and shield to go flying in on an aerial strike just himself. And it didn't happen. Look, right here, he uses one just to get out of the corner and into blind, just open space where he sits right on top. A little bit of an awkward position, leaves it to Prestige to play nice and cool, glide across the mouse pad, and click on 4 heads to bring it up to point 12 for Boise State. Just 1 more away from getting out of the heat and going to see Santa Claus on Icebox.
That's Antarctica. There's penguins on Icebox. You're at the wrong You're at the wrong end of the planet.
Considering that Santa Claus can travel the whole world in a day, I'm sure he visits Antarctica every once in a while.
Okay, before we get into a debate on Santa Claus lore, let's get back toward Bind, as this is the round that could take it for the Broncos. Throwing out a bit of util that Bombot doesn't find anyone, but 2 of the Air Force, 2 Falcons hanging out in elbow.
Yeah, and with 3 ultimates hanging on the Air Force, they know this is match point. A minute left. I would not be surprised if we see them go all out here. If Boise State can get the plant down, they will probably drop that orbital strike right where they imagine it could go. And there is a jungle of util hanging out on A. So is they're going to make a couple of telltale shots through the typical places on B just to be a pain. Try to get a little bit of a rotation off. It's not going to work. Air Force rotating nice and slow. If ever, and Rariana is going to find 1, bringing them 1 step closer to finishing off the match. Only 42 seconds left. Train moves around elbow, tries to get a beautiful bait. There it is. Exactly where you would expect them to be. They drop the orbital strike, but it's not enough.
They land the concuss, and they're able to claim it before the team rotates in for backup. Dizzy going out onto Broncos, but the eliminations keep piling up, and they've got the first round on by 13-10. Wow. That was really close. I got to say, coming into this match, I wasn't really quite expecting it to be that close. not that I want to sell Air Force 2 short here, but we've been mainly looking at Hawaii as the biggest threat in the Mountain West. But the Falcons shown that they can step up to it.
Yeah.
13-10 is close.
They definitely did, but one of the things that worries me is it's not like it was early on they were struggling and they struggled to catch up that lead. It's been almost neck and neck the entire time, so we really don't know what it's going to look like into the second round. It's not like someone came into a lot of information and changed things last second or weren't able to change things last second. I could honestly see map 2 being just as close.
I also got to commend Greg. Also, I was commending him on his color choice, the color palette last week going with the green. This time he's gone.
Yes.
You're a PC builder. You've gone with the Noctua line here.
The neutral tones, I like them. They're just stark on the camera.
I wish we could pull up an image of a Noctua fan here and just compare it to Greg because it is so perfect.
The side-by-side pictures. I'm sure production will figure it out. Here's a little bit.
Meanwhile, Rariana holding down back onto the point. And this was the very first pistol round, both of which Boise State lost.
Though there's still some exceptional plays through. This was the embarrassing part. Yeah, we didn't see any nades thrown in there at all. They just kind of went charging in and got punished for it.
Now we're waiting on Icebox. Is there anyone you really expect to see on Icebox?
Okay.
We're going to see Viper.
Yeah, we're going to see Viper. We're going to see Sova.
Viper and Sova.
I would not be surprised if we got especially from this team, I would not be surprised if we got a Sky. Right? If Prestige plays that Sky again. I would love to see a Sage. Obviously, that'd be fun. I think an Omen would be fun, but I doubt we'll see either of those. It wouldn't blow my mind if we saw a Fade or a Reyna. I don't think that would be a crazy pick. I've also seen Raze be picked on Icebox and go over well. I don't think those would be devastating. What are you really expecting?
Well, I mean, could see the Sky. I mean, it's been a while since we've seen Shane. We were talking about his buffs a little bit earlier, but I don't know if Boise State is going to fully go for that. Sometimes they do, but I don't know if we'll see it on Icebox. Is one of kind of the things in Boise State's pocket is that you do have Skelesis, who sometimes brings out that Neon.
It's true.
That we don't see other teams pick Neon, but it's an agent that Skelesis really is welcome to, but it's very situational on what stage.
It's true. Icebox has a strong mid position. It feels a little bit more connected, and Neon is a little bit. When you're playing a high mobility character, it's nice to play it on a high mobility map.
To be fair, when we're moving off of Bind, any other stage is going to have a strong mid position.
Yeah, which actually I would argue makes Chamber less valuable because his mobility is through walls and is a flash one distance that you get to move. So being able to jump across this non-existent mid position from A to B and then hang out on a loose heaven is a strong ability to have on your side. But from Icebox, I think Chamber being able to play up on the heaven of A site is helpful, but it's just not quite enough. So I don't anticipate that being pulled.
I also like we got a little bit of an Inception thing going. The Broncos looking at themselves
it's
on
fun.
the stage here. So
it's fun.
It's kind of an ultimate thing. But they want to look at their replays as well.
Yeah. I never get tired of it. But it's less crazy when we look at ourselves on stage. And there they are.
Yep,
the
there
boys
they are.
In blue.
Well, no, they're in black this time. Sometimes they do rotate. One of the colors that I haven't seen in the longest time, though, was white. That was the original jersey color. Rotated out of the lineup. Right now we have blue, black, and orange.
Very nice. Enervy. Ooh, Hex. Maybe thinking about that Omen. Prestige thinking about that Neon. Daimyo is trying to convince us that he's considering Deadlock. Skelesis trying to yeah, they're just playing goofy on it now. We'll see what they actually click when it comes down to the right at 0. There we go. Yep, the real picks now. As they're coming out, we see a little bit more controller action leaning in. And this is, as you mentioned, match point for Boise State Broncos in the Air Force. It's going to have to fight their way through this tundra to grab a place on the pedestal and a decent fighting chance. Here
Also,
it is, Icebox.
I don't know if you can see it at production. You can, just before we get into the action, bring up a picture of Greg here because I brought up a Noctua fan on my phone to show it, and he is like perfectly color-coded and matched. It really is. If you know what a Noctua fan is, there he is. He is just perfectly. You could use that as a cosplay. You just put on, you know, some fans behind.
Colors.
Yeah, you completely the Noctua look, and I just love it. Which I will say, Noctua is known for high-quality performance fans. And, Greg, you've been given some high-quality performance broadcasting as well.
appreciate
So,
that.
yeah, it all
do our
fits
best.
together. Thank you so much, production, for humoring me. I just had to show that so that people knew how on point your color scheme is.
Yeah,
All right, back to the action.
It has been high energy. Today we've had some fantastic plays. And it's always refreshing playing a little Call of Duty before you set in to high-stakes Valorant. Air Force kind of all grouped up in the middle here. Odd to see them do that, considering that their first round they went flying, guns up blazing with this distant shot with the Ghost. Instead, it's a different position, and Rich took a little bit of pepper damage, making Prestige shot onto him an easy play. Daimyo with some early util, trying to get one more. Master playing the cover girl. Jet is going to find one. And that's a little debut into the Boise State players as defenders take round one. A big change, right? Admittedly, we do see a big change on to their defensive position here with the Sentinel that we should have talked about earlier, because this one's a big pick. We don't have anything close to a mirror match, though, I'll say. And Boise State's a long ways from picking the Moroccan info broker to join their side as a Sentinel. But the German engineer, Killjoy, has found their niche on Boise State's roster pretty often. Something that we don't see picked by the Boise State roster very often. Daimyo with the Outlaw. Hopefully that gets a little bit of a showcase on the camera here. And as Air Force goes rolling into the maze below Site A. We have a few up on Heaven making some damaging plays. Skelesis with a reach round 2 fun gun play. It's the Marshall that meets its first contact. Nervy way behind enemy lines, just looking for something. Diving into the smoke, takes a point-blank shot from Skelesis, who moves up to a full house with Prestige on the Guardian. Distance plays moving from A. No real snipers here. I mean, we had Sova on the Initiator playing Sniper A, and Sniper B played by a Sentinel.
You got two different flavors of the budget snipers. Daimyo has brought out the Outlaw.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's just bonusing it from last round, because I think it was a flawless round. I could be wrong last round. But
you have
Boise
the gun
State,
advantage. That's what you want.
yeah, they're in the bonus now. Air Force is looking to take this one pretty solidly, but right now it's shots in the dark through
Oh my goodness,
the middle
two
lines here.
cascades, one right behind the other, and Rich finds Daimyo. He pushed up so far to throw out those walls, it ended up hurting him.
A good nade throw, just looking to clear a little bit of space. Skelesis trying to fight back for that space, but it's awkward. You don't want that lens so close to the wall. It's hard to retake a site with a snipe. But Air Force, feeling generous today, is willing to rotate onto B and give them a fresh look from quite the distance. Lover is going to take Rariana by surprise, heralding the rotation and giving Boise State the info they need to get moving on towards Snowman. And Nervy getting a quick plant, or at least a Nervy and company is. And Boise State is looking to play towards the spike.
Nice,
Ooh.
one tap right onto Lover. Boise State making a presence now on to B. In a bit of a risky position, though. They're still down 1 overall. Swarm grenade will be thrown out by Prestige, as well as the turret. Does it pick up or get damage on anybody? Dizzy, though, right back onto Prestige, forcing him back. Spike ticking down. Wingman also thrown off. Only 2 left for Boise State. They try to make the defuse. Do they at least pick up
What?
1? Oh!
What was that?
That's embarrassing. He was reloading the entire time.
Really?
But there were multiple targets. So maybe he was just focusing on the wrong target.
Hex had multiple targets, though. Look at this. Hex, low on the chamber, has to take one out, misses a little bit, reloads, and goes for it. I think Prestige was definitely firing the entire time with a sidearm. It's definitely not the distance to play out, but ooh, an embarrassing
Oh,
look.
here we go. Sniper time.
He's top frag. I won't give him too much beef about it. But you were right. The op is coming out, and obviously they'd want that to be hanging out on a nice long A position. Air Force making their way downtown.
They're going to rotate back over toward B. They haven't moved in. That's a great catch there on the lurker.
All on the timing. An excellent shot. Ariana flies out of the point to prevent a trade. Is just going to hang back until some associates can make it in. Ooh, looks like a little bit of a rethink from Air Force, which could lead to a devastating spot from Skelesis, but he gives up his position just to be menacing, doing a little bit of a jump fire, giving his partners time to get down onto the point. There is a bonus available on the guns, but they're already pretty rich. They're going to play for a little bit of information through this wall, slowing even more down the way the Air Force cannot get through this, making it so difficult. Nice. A quick one. Skelesis, greedy for more, is going to push through the smoke. Brianna playing a little bit of hide and seek with Rich. Has him caught between a rock and a hard place, and it's a flawless play, giving an ultimate on round 4 to Boise State's Killjoy. That's going to be helpful.
And not that it was something that was extremely crucial in the round, because he kind of hid back in the corner just holding that sideline, but you really do want to not lose the round that you purchased the op on. You know, you're going up above 5,000 credits to purchase it. You don't want to go back down to 0. You want to start building up a little bit of a bank for yourself, since you've just put so much into getting that weapon. So really spells good omens for Boise State's economy. Oh, we have a Marshal being brought out by Air Force. Interesting. Yeah, this is, they're just going to have to, still gets hit with the dart.
Worst of both worlds. Now they know you have a Marshal and they know where you are.
Master has something a bit more powerful than a Marshal.
Yeah.
He's got an op for himself, and he's officially got the first op pick of the game. Can he pick up another? He'll reposition, maybe move to some higher ground.
Air Force still bleeding one player, trying to move nice and slow, but look at this. They want a cheeky play here. Boise State.
Oh,
down to 24 health.
Fire.
Double eye contact, too. He saw them, both of them on the reload as he went floating back. Still, Air Force wants these greedy fun plays just to get a leg up here in the early rounds. They still have Spike in pocket, but they've lost all of their players who they abandoned to go forcing the site alone, and now they need to recover the Spike. They were hanging out on the...
Skelesis with a great pinch through mid. There's now 3v2, and they'll catch him.
And it was really just bad timing. They totally got paced out right there. And if we reanalyze the round even just a little bit, in spawn they left 2 players, and they stuck him in the corner. So it definitely wasn't any kind of AFK problem, because they stuck him in the corner to try to get a great angle onto anyone who was coming around for a flank, right? But they timed it wrong in a way that the rest of their team just got totally ambushed and picked off one at a time, as Doc says, one by one. They went down. And then Air Force was forced out of their corner, and then the flank came around that they were expecting, and suddenly they weren't focused on it anymore. So Boise State just... That was an unforced error from the Air Force. They gambled on whether or not Boise State would push their limits, and they didn't.
Very crucial first blood onto Prestige. Cascade goes up, holding them off on the choke. They'll move up above it with the showstopper, fire it out. Doesn't find anyone, but Skelesis and Daimyo fighting back. Now use the Hunter's Fury, gets a hit onto 2, and now it's going for the other one. And it's put Boise State into a small lead, 1 person.
But more than that, it pushed one off the site. They have to come rolling back around. Lover's going to find one. Rariana hunts down the person, came scrambling back in after being hunted down by the Hunter's Fury. And now he's the last man alive. He is still making some damage. It is 2v1. And do you use the Viper's Pit to easily grab a defuse, maybe? Oh, Lover is so far off the point. He's low on options and low on time. Skelos is coming in for the defuse as Pro Stick.
Oh, lands it.
The outro?
Skelos, does he get greedy?
Okay.
Oh, he manages to get it. Greed is good.
Greed is good. Greed is good. If there's one thing I've learned playing Valorant, greed is good. I wanted to see, and it happens so rarely, that they get the defuse and then they go down, so that there's players, it's like a little bit of a ninja defuse, but not quite, where the players are all eliminated, but they still take the round. But it did not happen. It did not happen. Master holding that op. Otherwise, it's pretty uninteresting news on the forefront of weapons loadouts. Master getting
what you
all
wanna
the,
see.
dare I say, bang for his buck early on, cashing in those 5,000 creds for an early frag that is an unpayable debt. Air Force 2 down, cannot capitalize on anything. There are no mistakes here so far. They're just now making their debut onto the site, and the pinch is real. Boise State could have a flank or two coming around, and Irby is going to punish a misstep from Damio. And it looks like Boise State does not want to risk any kind of a flank. They're going to be moving back around and come in the back door like they're supposed to. A couple ults online. We'll see what comes out. There it is, the Viper's Pit. Love calling those ults right when they happen. Defender Killjoy coming down to really vacate out that Viper's Pit, and it won't matter either way. Neither went off, and it's a team ace. Everyone found their one. Everyone did exactly 20% of what the team needed to do.
I'm starting to really think right now that this was probably Boise State's favorite stage, that was kind of an all-in from Air Force on buying. So for Boise State to really win that the way they did, it's kind of determined the whole pace of the match, as we're going to be forced onto another economy round for Air Force, whereas we have quite the opposite. We have double op now for Boise State.
The blue light's down, and they just have a nice flat white light, getting every wrinkle of expression out of those faces. Under the microscope, they are still not under pressure. Wow, that's a lot of information. Master's got to go back and take notes on what he just saw. A couple of shots in the dark just to make sure, just to be menacing. And Rariana is the one actually placing those shots. Finds one. And that's the one that had an ult up, so...
Jump peek, lands one, moves out, and is not going to be able to pick up more than one, but they do have a huge gun advantage. Any pick that Air Force gets, however, is a free gun for them to pick up. Tilt moving around, both of them at yellow. Cascade out by Damio. He's very close for a sniper, and just as the barrel peeks through the wall, Tilt turns away. Damio lands it with the sidearm. Master with his op ends the round. Boise State up 7-1. It's a Brazil.
Nice. Bronco State University doing excellent moves, making great time. It's time to switch to melee.
Bronco State University.
Bronco
I
State
love them.
University.
Their mascot is the Boise's.
Yes, they are. The Boiseans.
But man, yeah, this Boise State just not wanting for anything right now.
No, and look at this bankroll, too. Even if they lost the ops, both of them, they could buy another 3.
Rariana, the one lurker, isn't able to get the first blood. Has a lot of targets to aim at, and Rich collects. Now look here, this could get Master. Oh, but the wall goes up, and that's such a good neural theft right off the bat for the round. Makes things very difficult. Master with a double, though, on the knives, going in for even more.
No, he's so close.
Oh, so close. He did get some good hits, though.
Got a couple of good ones, and Prestige coming in for a double is going to make things difficult for the last player here. They can honestly just go for a stick, have the man sacrifice himself. Oh, they're getting greedy. Trying to hunt this man down. Skelis is going to be the one to find it and get the creds for it. Prestige going in for the defuse.
And that'll be a win. Yet another one for Boise State, now 8-1.
What is the Brazil?
Oh, that's a soccer term. We use it in Rocket League every now and then. That references the time that Germany absolutely trounced Brazil in a World Cup match 7-1.
Oh, 7-1. Interesting.
So anytime that's a scoreline, they say
Brazil.
That's a Brazil.
All these years.
The more you know.
The more I know.
And knowing is half the battle.
So I'm getting even more and more of half of the battle. Rariana really under the gun here, dare I say. Rich, that's going to be his gun. They come around yellow.
It's been a standard opening, but then they won right into the opposite. Boise State has Prestige, gets a one tap on to Air Force. They're going to move forward just a little bit farther with the spike. They don't plant it. In clear view, one shot from Damio. Prestige also gets his second.
Damio just dropped the top fragger, and they dropped the man next to him, which means the spike is way behind arms, but Daimyo's going to go rushing in the front lines anyways, just to bring it up to a nice full house as Daimyo finds 2 point-blank shots with the op, and Prestige grabs 3. A little sip from the yerba mate never hurt nobody.
Need to keep that energy high.
You've got to.
And yeah, he agrees. He's going to take
Yeah,
another
oh, yeah.
sip for good measure.
I'm thinking that's the banana Red Bull, actually.
Hmm.
Good zoom. Let's go ahead and zoom and enhance on that, see what he's up to.
Zoom in, enhance,
Zoom,
galore.
enhance. A couple of marshals coming out for a reach position from the Air Force. I mean, they have the money to go a little bit further, but they're not going to. It's a soft buy, a bid. Oh, no, the timing.
Problem is due to the two blocking off the head, you really can only settle for a body shot, which the Marshal isn't going to do much.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Boise State has already brought this to a 4v2.
Bit high. Oh, no, Rich so low. He can't find him. Switching to the sidearm would be a good call here, but you know what's funner than good calls? Being greedy. Greedy is good. He doesn't find it, though. Prestige comes rolling around and takes it with an actual AR, which is rated for that distance. But
they're getting silly now.
It's okay. It's all right. It's all a mental game. They just want to make sure there's no reverse clutches here. I'm sure.
I don't know. Well, complacency can bite you. We have seen several times overconfidence sometimes bites players. We'll see if it dethrones Boise State
if they
here.
catch the bug here. Yep, it's not over till it's over. Air Force could, I mean, here's the thing. Boise State just took 8 in a row, so what prevents Air Force from doing it?
Oh yeah! Monster
Well,
on the loose.
Oh, man.
They're at even keel, and everything is just being thrown out right now.
Daimyo quickly humbled after he considered going flying in behind lines with the operators, now being hunted down. So much vision denial prevented him from running any closer, and Rich now behind enemy lines actually doing damage. Wow, didn't find anything with the ultimate, but he does get one out, and he's still alive. Master trying to make some damage here. Does get 3 of a kind, actually. Finds the 4th
does he
one.
have an ace?
Is it in him? Does he have it in him? They'll definitely give it to him. He's begging for it. Rariana stole it from him. That was like his last chance.
Cackling in mid as he takes
Sure
it
he
away.
is. I'm sure he is.
All right, 11-1. I mean, what more can you say for a performance like that?
I'll
Boise
say-
State, if they win the pistol round,
Oh, look at him. Right, he does not care. He does not care what you have to say.
absolutely ruthless.
You know what? A good teammate would have died and let him get the ace. Maybe. Well, it's a credit.
It's also a thing where you can't really say the game was on the line. They had such a huge lead.
It's true.
Might as well try to, I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm sure Doc, the coach, is just going to say, no, you take the win.
Rariana was bottom frag too, so maybe they have some side bets and he's trying not to, have to wear the bumper sticker for the week. Who knows?
Just maybe. I know they are betting types, so this might be. Oh, what a shot
unnerving.
by the
And
Ghost.
that was the Ghost ahead of the. I will say, Boise State has been really bad sheriff shots today.
Rariana trades it back for 1. Tilt takes out Daimyo. And Rariana in an awkward staring match with that Gecko. Got him down to low health and came out ahead overall. Still near 100, so say that face-off went pretty well.
Nice.
He isn't able to land the right click, though, and Air Force gets the win on the pistol round. Yeah, pistol round has just not been Boise State's forte.
No, it's true. And I mean, Tilt did a whole lot of the heavy lifting there, just being a real mouse in the corner, hanging out and jumping out to scare the elephants that is Boise State here. As Tilt just hung out behind that box, and with the classic alt fire was not enough. Tilt rang true and through, and here it is. The reach round. They're going to buy the sheriffs anyways, despite my better judgment. While Air Force has actually some interesting plays coming around, we could see a little bit of short and a little bit of long, as 3 Bulldogs, a Scepter, and a Marshal are coming out. No room for the Outlaw, though, and even when we had an Outlaw on stage, I don't think it was under camera. Taking care of a couple of small things, some utility, some pesky utility, and Irvy's going to make sure to get a couple of shots off. Finds one in the dark, a menace. Oh,
Lands
and
another
threw
shot.
a second to adjust, or to assist Rich in finding his point. Hex grabbing one as well. I mean, Air Force slated to win the round, but by this much, they're playing strong. Is Boise State slipping?
Well, I mean, you can't get. They won the first pistol round, so this is how you expect the second to get.
It's
I'm not gonna call it until the next round.
We'll see. We'll see. Daimyo. Low health gets hunted down Hex with the advantage gun Prestige from a beautiful angle.
And I consider that a win. If you're down in the second half, you take at least 2.
Yep.
2 is good, 3 is great. And getting 2, I think that's just. I think the Broncos will be content with that. They have such a big lead. They need to take this round, though. If they lose this round, I'm having some problems.
And if they took 4 or 5 or it took the round on a thrifty when the other team had the chance to fully buy, then it would say that Boise State is crushing Air Force, but they're not. And the first game was pretty close. Air Force is still doing an excellent job at keeping up and keeping strong, and Boise State can't let themselves get complacent, right? They're losing when they're playing in Air Force's most powerful or most comfortable positions. So now this should be Boise State's round. We'll see how strongly they take it. Air Force hanging back, ready to play off the point a little bit and let Boise State just kind of waste a util. Oh, getting rid of that tripwire. Flashes a plant just to try to bleed out any info. It's not going to happen, so he can probably go for a full plant now. Daimyo takes Lover, and Skill Assist is going to pick up his opportunity to plant right here. Ooh. Under Dizzy and 2 other players standing in front. Ooh, Prestige finds 2. And with low health, he gets grabbed on player number 3. Calls in a little bit of utility just to save. And that is round 12 in a wild last-second 3-piece.
I would like to inform that head coach Doc Haskell has walked into the arena, and that is a great sight to see.
Yes.
This particular scoreline. Them at match point, 12-3, and for them to close it on out.
Yeah, Prestige with the 4Ks. He got 1 earlier, narrowly escaped and took 3 right in a row. He's doing well. He's earning that scholarship. And he's ready to move on in the next round. If he can grab an old orb or 2, we might even see a lockdown to really secure point 13 at some point. Air Force, though, rich. And not just rich, all of them are rich. We're going to see an op come out, along with a couple of long arms. Hex going to be the first blood, and Daimyo to reply on a tilt, the top frag. That's a weak point in the play for the Air Force, and Boise State knows it. So they're going to get a quick plant on, and just going to back off the point here. Ooh, a pop fly bullet to take care of 1, maybe 2. Trying to play through here on Snowman. Skelesis moving slowly around. It actually goes down to Hex. That's Hex's 2nd point, and he did get first blood of the round. So he's feeling good, and it's given him the ultimate. We might see a little bit of a teleportation onto the spike. Not quite. Hex goes down to Prestige. Feeling hot from the last round. And Rich just cannot hold it together. That's GG's in the chat. And Boise State finds point 13 and grabs a beautiful victory on round 2, and thus the night and the week.
And we had a fun time overall through it. It looked a little bit shaky as Air Force had quite a rally, making it number 13-10, and Boise State only led by 7-5. For the majority of the first half of Game 1, they were behind on the back foot, so they managed to get things all sorted out. They'll get a little bit closer to facing the big menace on the horizon. Hawaii still waiting in the wings. Boise State definitely wanting to get back that championship title because multiple past years they've swept the Mountain West in Rocket League, Overwatch, Valorant. They want the Triple Crown back.
It'd be nice to have. It's a fun trophy to carry.
Well, we will leave you with the top 5 plays of the game for tonight, brought to you by the Idaho Army National Guard. Invites you to take your impressive critical thinking skills into real time. More than 10 jobs offering a $20,000 bonus and your degree of choice paid for. Idaho Army National Guard is one of the best teams to join out there. Reach out to them on Twitch at iGuard Gaming. After the top 5 plays, we'll have a closing interview with Wyatt, one of our players from Valorant, so don't go away. We'll get some insight with Master, and we'll be back after this break. He's bailed out by Rariana with that Bulldog we were talking about.
Yes.
That bonus earlier. It came in clutch.
And he's going to bonus down to the Spectre.
Oh, but he's only got 15. Only 2 left for Boise State. They try to make the defuse. Do they at least pick up 1? Oh!
What was that? Love being right. Air Force pulling out.
Crash is out. Ooh, the double peek through the smoke wall. Boise State is trading
Other
pretty.
players standing in front. Ooh, Prestige finds 2. And with low health, he gets grabbed on player number 3.
Actually, no, it's really, look at this rotation
Wow.
through the teleporter. That's the real difference here.
Skelesis
I was just
find it.
joking, referencing the pain,
Nice.
but this is what I want to see. Skelesis get Welcome back to the Boise State Esports Arena. We just saw Boise State take a Mountain West win against Air Force 2-0. We've got Master, one of the Valorant players, joining us back here on stage for our final post-game interview before we wrap things up for the night. One final look at the victorious team as they get ready to go on home. And I'm still your host, Jacob Palmer, here with Master up here on desk, ready to jump into that match. And I think the first thing I've got to ask you was the difference between round 1 and round 2. Bind was a lot closer, 13-10. So what was the main thing that changed between the two stages?
I think the main thing that happened on Bind is we just struggled a lot more to just basically shoot back against them. They just kept sparing us through smokes and stuff, getting a lot of good kills through choke points with phantoms, which made it a lot more difficult to take the aim duels and the fights that we're used to taking. So when we made it onto Icebox, we just were able to click heads so much better against them, and there was a lot less utility that we had to deal with, so we could just shoot back, and we just literally went with that.
Yeah, even production was saying throughout the match, they were just whispering to us in our headphones, going, "Man, there's a lot of util right here on Bind, just very low visibility." But I gotta say, normally we've seen kind of a rotation of players overall, and who is the opper. We've seen Prestige be in the opping position a lot of time, but they decided to give that role over toward you for Jet for Icebox this time, and it seemed like it was just open season.
Yeah, it was really easy to op against them because I could take a lot of the high angles on Icebox and really utilize them to get hard positions to clear with just a gecko flash. For example, on A main for Icebox A site, it's really hard to gecko flash to clear me off of that top box I kept sitting on, so I could just get free picks on the enemy team.
Now, we're talking about what's left in the season, and we've been kind of bringing it up throughout tonight of kind of the threat that Hawaii still has out there. And so what are you doing to prepare for those teams and those tougher matches coming on later?
We just keep scrimming, keep practicing, VOD reviewing, playing our own game, basically. Just trying to get better in every aspect.
All right. Well, it certainly served you well here tonight. Congrats on your win. And that'll do it for this broadcast. Thank you so much for joining us. Tomorrow we'll be back with Smash Brothers. And then again, make sure to tune in Saturday for CECC. We've got all our games going on in the West Regionals. You're not going to want to miss that. But for us tonight, that'll do it. Thank you for watching. Have a good one.